Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tournament Kingdom. This is the October 2025 ARAM tournament. We have 5 teams that will be competing. Let me pull it up real quick if I can find it. Here it is. We will have Check PayPal versus Gnar Not Amused versus Out of Our Hwei versus Queefazoids versus You in Luong Neighborhood. Now, we will be spectating You in Luong Neighborhood versus Gnar Not Amused. I will pull up the bracket real quick for y'all right over here. If I can switch my screen. Second screen, boom, ignore the advertisements. This is the bracket. We are currently watching this game. I'm going to queue us up because we're going to have a delay. I should have told them, but we're going to risk it. They're going to figure it out eventually, hopefully. So You in Long Neighborhood versus Gnar Not Amused. Here is the draft right here that we will be discussing / looking. And here I am joined with the lovely LaRue, who will be doing the play-by-play. I will be here for the color. LaRue, how are you doing? Oh, wait. Sorry to interrupt. We can't mention it because the other people don't know what they're picking because it's a blind pick. But we can. It's okay. We don't know what they picked. We need to talk about the draft library. It's a little rusty. We're okay. We got this. We got this.
Rewind it.
Oh, wait.
There are some powerful picks that Are You in the Long Neighborhood could potentially pick. You do see champions like the Kiana, the Akali, the Vayne there. Vayne certainly the favorite of several players, but there's power picks on both sides, and now we can finally see those selections. They are locked in, and we can talk about it for real. And yeah, there is a Katarina on one side, so we got
Okay.
3 minutes to wait this out. You got stuff like the Katarina. You've got stuff like the Lee Sin for Are You Long? That's gonna give me trouble all night tonight. Are you or you in Luong neighborhood? How about that? But yeah,
Perfect.
and over on the other side, it looks like it's gonna be a comp dedicated to protecting the Jinx. You've got the Lulu Morgana and the Jinx here for Are You Not Amused?
Yeah, I mean, it's really the one thing that I'm going to be very curious about. I doubt we'll see it because we do have the Sona, but there's Lee Sin support. I always am a big advocate for Lee Sin support because his shields and heals are buffed massively with the Howling Abyss nerfs or buffs, excuse me, and there's also nerfs on other champions. I think the only champions, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, LaRue, I think the only champions that are nerfed is Alawi, Sona, Jinx, and Morg. So it seems like both teams have similar amount of nerfs per champion.
Yeah, and of course, nerfs are great and all, and buffs are great and all, but I think you'll find that there isn't too much of a crazy difference. I mean, champions that hard carry are still very much capable of hard carrying. I don't think that there are any champions I think that are made completely useless by ARAM nerfs. I mean, case in point, Seraphine still above a 50% win rate as far as I'm concerned, but is the most nerfed champion in ARAM.
Mm.
It both affects the game, but also it really doesn't. I know Jinx will be coming in here. I believe it's 90% damage dealt with Jinx,
Sounds about
but
right.
those rockets are still gonna hurt. About 3 items in, and once this Jinx player here, don't know who's gonna be piloting that Jinx, but once they pick up that Runaan's Hurricane, it's still gonna do some work. Although I will say, are you in Long Neighborhood definitely has a little bit of tankiness there between the Rise, the Lee Sin, and the Alawi. It's not gonna be easy to clean sweep. I think if you are this Jinx.
Yeah, and we'll see what map it is as we're loading in. This will be the first time that we have a random custom game option, and we will have the Ionia map, Koshin's Crossing, for our first game. We need to make sure we're in sync here, LaRue. It's been a while since we've done this.
We
I'm
do,
at
and I need to
7
make sure
seconds.
and we need to make sure my frames don't drop on this map as well. All right, I'm ready to play. All right,
What's your timer at, though? Because we...
7.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I paused at 7.
Oh, you paused at 7. Oh, okay, I'll wait for you to catch up then. I'm at
Oh
24.
well. Hold on. I'm
Or maybe you just go live if you. Well, I don't want to miss a team fight. Technical difficulties.
20. Okay. Say it out for me. Say your timeout.
I'm at 24. I paused at 24.
Oh, 24. Okay. All right, I'm good.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1.
All
Okay.
right, so now we should be good. So we load up onto, as you said, Koshin's Crossing, the newest ARAM map, and admittedly one that I think, not to get too preachy, has received somewhat of a mixed reception. Obviously, there are some unique things here. The portals, obviously the thing that everybody wants to talk about. It allows you to kind of escape certain scenarios. I know Zillion, a champion off the top of my brain here, that's very much nerfed because of the portals, because you do go effectively invincible when you are traversing the map. But the bush placements as well, you can easily see what's behind those bushes here if you are past the bush. So I know a lot of people who like this map. I know a lot of people who don't like this map, but it should make for an interesting first matchup here as we do a little bit of level 3 trading here.
Indeed. I'm a big fan of Howling Abyss myself, but it is nice to get a change of scenery. It'll be interesting how different it will be.
As we get some team fighting here at level 3. Actually, first few level 4s are coming out. It's going to be First Blood picked up for Gnar, Not Amused, and a set of numbers on that Cassiopeia. We mentioned the Jinx, and we talked about the Jinx a lot, mostly because we didn't have too much in the way of time to talk about things. But this Cassiopeia can also benefit from the Morgana Black Shield, from the Lulu. Maybe not the attack speed buff, but this Cassiopeia is also someone to watch out for here as we kind of get some spread out fighting. Polymorph dropped onto Project Snail. Mushmarrow for Gnar, Not Amused on that Gnar appropriately enough. He's going to bait out the black, or the dark binding, I should say. Project Snail, though, not going to slow it down, although he's going to die for his efforts. Mushmarrow going to go into Mega Gnar as he hops on away. Already 2 kills in the books for Gnar, Not Amused. There's another dark binding coming down. Another kill for a set of numbers. A long, extended fight here at level 4. This one could go a long way. It's a double kill. A set of numbers, already 3 kills for the book. Another dark binding coming down, but can they find the damage? I'm not quite sure. Project Snail back into Zombie Smurf, taken very, very low, but it looks like he's going to survive as we finally slowed things down. 4 kills to none here for Gnar, Not Amused.
I feel like Morgana has landed every single bind so far. Maybe I'm wrong, but he's playing quite well. And as for builds, there's nothing really too spicy. Katarina is going tank Katarina, which I find to be a little interesting, considering that there's not too many melees. But they don't really have much of a tanky front line, so they may think Katarina is our best bet to have a bit more solid of a front.
Yeah, something to note, though, I think when we talk about this Katarina, there's not a lot of easy-to-land CC coming from the side of Gnar, Not Amused. Yes, the Miasma for a set of numbers going to do work if you can place it correctly. You can definitely stop that Katarina in her tracks as we get another Q onto Unork, but there's not a lot of easy ways to freeze that Katarina. So we'll see if the tank Katarina comes through. I know a lot of people prefer it, preferably or most likely players that maybe aren't just kind of used to Katarina. I know I'm a purveyor of it when I'm forced to play Katarina, but I'm going to assume Catacon at least knows what he's doing a little bit here on that champion if he's going to pick it as part of a tournament. 3.5 minutes in, 4 kills to none. Still just doing a little bit of trading as the first few ultimates come out. You can see mostly on those who have not died yet. In fact, all of Gnar, Not Amused going to hit level 6. You see a couple members of Yuan Luong neighborhood still yet to hit those ults. Dark Binding coming down here, and the Super Mega Death Rocket from point blank range to take out the Alawi here. Already 5 kills to none. In fact, you see the pings coming out. Yeah, I don't know if that was necessary, but I think Zombie Smurf just wanted to secure that first kill for himself.
Maybe he just wanted to send a message. That's what I like to think.
Yeah, send a message by killing at the lowest possible damage on your ult. It's a cycle. ARAM, League of Legends, it's a psychological game. You might as well have a little fun with it. Portal being used for, I think, the first time in this matchup here as Carnios is going to go on in. He does drop that ultimate, doing a lot of damage. You can see that Gnar, Not Amused, they are very, very low, trying to escape back to the safety of their own tower. Carnios goes back in, takes a set of numbers down to about 25% health. The health packet is going to be used. Cassiopeia not able to get to it, but the other 3 members going to find a little bit of health. You see Catacon is low, doesn't eat the boomerang, is going to be able to get away from that ruined earth to keep himself alive. Does Project Snail want to take this Q? He's going to try it. Is he going to be able to find the kill? Yes, he will. Almost certainly going to give himself up. It's going to be a 2 kill for 1 trade. Set of numbers now on a rampage. 4-0-3, stacking that tier. already up to 240 stacks. And it's going to be important, I think, when the set of numbers hits that 360 stacks to just take a death and see what it can do. Big ultimate there coming out from Mushmero. Carnios pushed into the wall. He'll be on the front line. Richest Penguin actually going to find the first kill of the fight. There is Catacon going on in. Ultimate going to do a little bit of work. Project Snail lands a Q onto set of numbers. There is your first death. Big shutdown going down to the Lee Sin. An extra 400 gold. Nice kick right back on into the Lulu. Bone Kevin sent back for the first time. And you in Long neighborhood going to find a few kills back here. Now 8 kills to 5. Gold's even here at this stage of the game. And tower-wise, well, in fact, you in Long neighborhood as Project Snail finds another kill. They've got more tower damage at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that's the main goal of ARAM, as they're still fighting. My goodness.
Yeah, they've got a dive comp, and they're certainly going to try to make advantage of it here. But did they go a little bit too aggressive? I think maybe they did. So far, it is a 3 for 2. Richest Penguin and Carnios, the only two left alive here for you in Long neighborhood. There's the ult dropped onto set of numbers. Carnios, as you can see, did drop the ultimate, but he's going to eat a Dark Binding. Trying to get to the portal. Can he make it? No, he can't. A set of numbers finds the kill. And we're going to see, I think, you in Luong neighborhood do that a bit more often here. They've got divers. They've got the Katarina. They've got the Lee Sin. They've got the Alawi. But you have to be smart when you do it. Lest you all find yourself dead. You have to find a substantial return on your investment there, because now, as you see, Gnar, Not Amused, able to find a little bit of tower damage here on the return.
Evens out the damage overall on both sides. One thing I want to point out, Riftmaker first item on a set of numbers, so I'm not sure he's going Roa this game as Carnios engages.
Yeah, if he was going to go Roa, although it is going to charge a little bit quicker here in this game mode. I believe it's every 40 seconds instead of every minute. You still would likely want it to be first item. Zombie Smurf going to find a kill onto Richest Penguin. He's got his first item. He's got, forgive me, the Yuntal Wild Arrows completed. Dark Binding onto Project Snail, tries to kick Zombie Smurf away, but it's not going to do much except put that ulti on cooldown. And as it stands, Gnar, Not Amused doubling up in kills, and they've got a 2k gold lead here as well. Here comes Mushmero, going to push that Sona, that Alawi back on in. There is the ultimate from Nork, not really going to need it, as they'll be able to kill the Alawi in time. Catacon going to go down as well. Hyza-chan, the Sona, still alive despite being pushed back into the scuffle. Just trying to do as much healing as they can as they try to hold off this prolonged assault. As you see the pings come out, they know their target. A set of numbers is very, very fed here early on.
Yeah, he has the most kills in the entire game, it looks like. And the Heartsteel battle is started, as Gnar has... Gnar for Gnar, Not Amused. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but has 64 Heartsteel stacks while the Katarina has 73, so they're pretty much even there. Items-wise, with the exception of Riftmaker, everything looks pretty standard so far from what I can tell from these builds.
Yeah, you see it's the Sundered Sky for the Lee Sin. Still waiting on the first item. That is Carnios on that Alawi. 1 and 6. Hasn't really had the easiest time getting on in there, but he opted to complete boots first, and it looks like that's going to turn into something. It's a Sheen item. I'm trying to remember what it is. But it's been a while. I haven't played for over a month. Give me a break. But it is going to eventually turn into a Sheen item there. We're all hitting level 10 now. 10 kill lead for Gnar, Not Amused.
I believe...
And again...
Sorry to interrupt. I believe the item you're thinking of is Ice... I want to say it's Iceborne Gauntlet. It's the tank one where it slows them if you slam them.
Sure, Iceborne Gauntlet. Yeah, that certainly sounds right. I was going to say Sundered Sky, or I was going to say, not Sundered Sky, Divine Sunder. That item, not real anymore. So, if you need any proof that I'm an old head, there you go.
Hey, man, I started playing this in 2014. I'm in the same boat as you.
I think I've mentioned before, played on Bard's release patch. Big team fight here. Already a couple kills for Gnar, Not Amused, although this one might be a little bit closer than first glance. There are some health bars dropping here for Gnar, Not Amused. But that's just wishful thinking for you in Long neighborhood, as it's going to be a full ace. 5 kills to none. And Gnar, Not Amused, they're rolling here in this first game. Set of numbers now 10, 1, and 11. Fully stacked here. Remember, he's going to have enough gold to get that item on the way back. That is a strong Cassiopeia. And the power picks here for you in Long neighborhood. The Lee Sin, the Katarina, as we see Gnar just going to give himself up for his second death. They're just not working out. 0-5 Katarina, 5-5 Lee Sin. That's about as much as you can expect here. Yeah, this is just going to be a full team wipe as Gnar Not Amused just kind of gives themselves up here for a little bit of tower damage. Set of numbers still not going to go ahead and complete that tier item. He's going straight death cap. This is a Cassiopeia that really wants to carry.
Yeah, I think he just wants to go for the snowball. Thinks, hey, I'm fed enough. I can probably just carry this with the early game advantage I already have. That would be my assumption.
Well, curious to note, though, with that full team wipe, they are going to give up a tower for this. So, you know, when you play competitive ARAM, when you play kind of in a competitive setting, it's all about kind of staggering your deaths and making sure that you get the most bang for your buck, as we do get a fight here. Catacon trying to dive the tower, going to die for his efforts. Unork picking up that kill. It is ultimately a bit of a trade. You do lose 5 members, but you do lose your first... You do get to go back and buy your items, I should say, but you do lose your first tower in the progress. So, still a large advantage, at least kill-wise. It is just 2k gold at the moment for Are You Not Amused, but more than willing to take that trade here at this stage of the game. There's an ult from Carnios, but he's not going to be able to find anything. Didn't really queue that up properly. Zombie Smith finds the kill. Ultimate used on the Mushmarrow as Zombie Smurf gets the shutdown on to the Lee Sin. Triple kill for set of numbers. Excuse me, how about for Zombie Smurf? Sona's going to take the portal. Yeah, just going to stay in place. Just going to give herself up. And it's going to be another 4-4-1 and a quadra kill here for Zombie Smurf.
Iceborne Gauntlet, I was correct, is fully completed now on Alawi. Titanic Hydra completed on Katarina, getting that AoE and the extra health stacking from Heartsteel will feel fantastic. I think Gnar is building Warmogs next. Yeah, Warmogs next.
Yes, that is almost certainly Warmogs there with the extra health. You see members of Gnar Not Amused, about 50% health. There's the ultimate from Catacon, doing a lot of damage. Unork trying to use the ultimate to stop him. The problem is that's a delayed ultimate. There is the Dark Binding down onto Richest Penguin. Super Mega Death Rocket finds the kill. Zombie Smurf now unstoppable. That is a Jinx now with an Infinity Edge. So that Jinx starting to hit those power spikes. Again, probably Runin's coming out next, and once that hits, we've talked a lot about set of numbers, but I think Zombie Smurf will take over as the primary carry from that point forward.
Yeah, and he will definitely get his moment to shine because Lulu is probably going to throw all of her buffs on top of the Jinx, giving her that bonus attack speed with the W from Lulu just feels so great for Jinx. And as Jinx scales and getting those resets, I think definitely Zombie Smurf can take over this game if a set of numbers decides to relax a bit.
We do get a couple of kills here. Catacon, Project Snail both go down. Carnios, Hyza-chan, and Richest Penguin decide to back off for now as they try to defend that tower. Again, tower-wise, game's still even, but I don't know how long that's going to last, especially as it's a 3-on-5 siege and you don't really have a terrible amount of wave clear here for the side of Luong neighborhood. Tower down to about 50% health. Another wave of minions coming in, but Catacon and Project Snail are back into the fight. Are they going to try to engage quickly here? Catacon jumps in. He finds himself slowed. Not polymorphed, just slowed. Project Snail takes the Q into set of numbers, but he does have the black shield. A little bit of defense there for the Cassiopeia. Project Snail continuing the fight here, but he finds himself taking a lot more damage, and Zombie first finds the kill. Big 2-man ultimate there from Hyza-chan, but nobody really there to follow up on it. Richest Penguin finds the kill. Double kill for Zombie Smurf. Catacon still full health. Can he find a way to jump into this fight? I think his ultimate's on cooldown. Yes, it is. So that's a Katarina with not a whole lot. Needs to find a reset. Takes Bone Kevin down low, but is not going to be able to finish it off. And ultimately, it's a 2-for-2. Long fighting, although the fighting ends up on Are You Not Amused sides of the map. I think you can count this as a win here for Luong neighborhood if they can find a little bit of tower damage here. They do have a little bit of time to try to jump on, but I think their window is just closed out. Set of numbers, he's back with a vengeance. Catacon jumping in. Bone Kevin, that's a clutch black shield there. That'll keep the Lulu alive. Zombie Smurf is now legendary at 12, 3, and 17. Make it a double kill. Richest Penguin finds the kill onto set of numbers. Rise just going to try to find as much as he can before he dies. He'll find a triple. He actually did take down both Zombie Smurf and Bone Kevin, but it's still going to be an ace.
That was huge.
Gnar Not Amused.
That is huge for Rise because the Jinx actually had a 550 gold bounty. So the fact that Rise got a triple kill and then also died, he'll give a big power spike. He's going to have Cosmic Drive completed now. He has both of his mana items fully stacked up. And I would be curious what his next item would be. I would like to see a Frozen Heart here as another fight does break out.
Yeah, gonna jump onto Unork here, trying to find the stuns, and will. But very, very low. That's a snowball. That's a Q, actually. No, excuse me. Project Snail just trying to get into range. He's not going to be able to get there. But somebody, I was
Wow.
going to say somebody should be able to finish him off. That's not going to be the case, though. Carnios goes down, set of numbers, picking up the kill. Zombie Smurf staying back in base, I think was waiting for the full Runin's Hurricane purchase. Here comes Mushmarrow. He pushes two. No, he pushes Catacon into the portal, and that's going to keep that Katarina alive. That's one of the quirks of this map. You got to be careful about the placement of those portals, although Catacon not really able to do much with it. As Gnar, Not Amused continues the rundown, the last member left alive is that Sona. That is not a full P ace. That's not a full AP Sona. Even if it was, wouldn't do anything. It's an ace for Gnar, Not Amused. The set of numbers is going to take a tower shot and fall to his death. But this is going to be a lot here for Gnar, Not Amused. I don't think Carnios is going to be able to find much here, even if he does try to jump in. In fact, yeah, there you go. Going to die. And we got our first inhibitor of the match.
I'll be curious to see what they will do, what Gnar Not Amused does. Unork is trying to get executed. He is not successful as Lee Sin claims that kill.
Lee Sin with the kill, but can he find any more as we get a Nexus tower down? Richest Penguin and Catacon, they're back in now as Zombie Smurf tries to kite back away. There is the Wild Growth onto Zombie Smurf, dropping down the auto attacks, but again, that's a tank Katarina, and that's a rather tanky Rise, so it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to take them down when they're right in your face. Mushmarrow finds himself to be the only one left alive here. Can they get on top of him? They do. Set of numbers, though, waiting in the brush, and is he going to be able to turn this one around? Set of numbers, going to find himself stunned up. There is the kick. Project Snail with the follow-up Q on a killing spree now. He's above 500 now, kills on death. He's 11 and 10 for the game. Mushmarrow still fighting, though. And he'll get a black shield as we slow it down here. 17 minutes in, and again, it's not over. I don't want to say it's over yet, because as you saw there, set of numbers was 14 and 4. He wasn't doing anything to that Katarina and that Lee Sin.
And the Katarina's going to get tankier and tankier because Katarina, I believe, has damage reduction buffs. Let me double check this. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Katarina, one of the most buffed, I'm pretty sure. No, not really. 20.
You're wrong.
Yeah, never mind. I think
are wrong.
they've adjusted those throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was a time that Katarina had damage dealt and damage reduction. That was a big crescendo there from Heizachan. No follow-up, though. There was a time, but I think Riot finally decided, you know what? I think if we're not going to change Tank Katarina, we got to do something about it. And now she just has kind of the tenacity buffs that all assassins in general have in this game mode. We've got ourselves another big team fight. This could be huge if Gnar Not Amused comes out on top. They already find a couple kills. There's a clutch dark binding onto Catacon, taking the Katarina out of the fight. Richest Penguin in the miasma, unable to move. Mushmarrow makes it a killing spree. Alawi thinks this is GG, and it might be because it's a 5-4-0 ace. Nothing left in front of him. And yeah, this tower should fall in short order. Looks like Gnar Not Amused going to win this first game of this ARAM tournament. Even got the surrender vote.
No they got the surrender vote in? Ooh.
No double explosion, but the surrender vote still comes through with Gnar Not Amused rolls here in this first matchup.
All right. So I will update the bracket. That will be Gnar Not Amused advancing versus Czech PayPal. And that will be Luong Neighborhood and losers. They'll have to unfortunately sit and wait for round two, to finish through. Oh, sweet. That's nice. So I can just invite Czech PayPal now, and then we can get that started. Let me double check the ARAM all chat. Oh, that's just the poll. That's irrelevant. Let me make sure Czech PayPal is all here. As you guys may know, I'm hosting the tournament while also casting, so you're going to see quite a bit of behind the scenes and see me jump in and out of things. So I'm going to hop into Czech PayPal. Actually, no, I'll set up. We'll figure it out. But I will be right back. You'll see everything, though. One sec. Hello, hello. Are you guys ready to play the game? You figured out draft and everything? You're good to go? Awesome. Okay. Howdy. Are you the only one here? Hello, NJ. How are you doing? What do you mean? No, the stream can't hear you, but the stream can hear me. What do you mean? Well, okay. I will make the draft in a minute. Just as a reminder, you guys, due to your high ranks and good looks, you guys will get less champions than your opponents. This will be the first time we're doing this, so they're going to get 5 extra. You're going to get 15, they're going to get 20. Correct. Okay. It's just like I don't think it's picking you up, but I am live. Maybe you want them to hear that. Did I ping the right teams? I did. Okay, yeah. All right. One sec. Hey, do you guys happen to have a lobby set up? No! Okay, that's fine. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Okay. All right. In case you haven't noticed, the draft has been posted. Okay. Yeah, please post match results in the matchups. Oh, sorry. I will probably not be looking at my DMs too much. Um, okay. I need to set up Queefazoids and out of our Hwei. Do you guys happen to have a lobby set up? I need to invite you? You're playing against out of our Hwei. I got it. I got it. Okay, jeez. I I did NA1. You guys are team 1. You're not NA1, you're Wanda. There you go. She's not? No. I really hope this stream isn't picking this up. Okay. Okay. I'm joining the other one. My goodness, I hope the stream didn't pick that up. You don't want to know. You don't know what the other team was saying. Okay, you guys are team 2. Are you guys all matching icons? The bees? Oh, dang. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, I will leave it up to you guys to invite. Well, I'll just invite. I'll do it. I am the captain now. You didn't get Araxia in here. So is that the beekeeper? This is the beekeeper. Oh no. Are you guys good to start the match? Okay. Are you guys ready to start the match? All right, I'm leaving. Whoever is host may start. I'm gone. Okay. All right. Bye. LaRue. LaRue, there? Are you playing with the kitty?
I'm here.
Your cat.
I mean,
Your cat.
I was, but I have my headset on and it's wireless, so I can hear everything.
Nice.
That's what I said.
Can you invite me? Hi, please. Maybe it's just named Tournament King's game. Maybe I can just join it. Hang on.
The lobby's full right now. Hold on.
No! I think you
I'm
can
moving
still invite
somebody.
me.
Well, I'm moving somebody to spectator. There you go.
Oh, did it make you the host? Oh, it's
Well,
on me.
I mean, I can invite you. You should be able to join now. There you go.
Okay. Oh, they're ready already.
I mean,
Let's
I'm
see what they
ready.
do. We are going to spectate check PayPal versus Gnar, you not amused again, the winners of the last match. I will pull up the bracket. I hate challenge sometimes. It's just too many ads. It makes me sad. I'm just gonna bypass the ad with a screenshot, LaRue. I'm scamming them. Boom, there we go. So we're watching this match right here. And you might be asking yourself, why does one team have 20 champions and the other has 15? This update that we did will change how things are balanced slightly. Check PayPal is a high ranking team according to the ARAM leaderboard that we have right here. And so the higher ranking teams gets less champions than others if they're in this matchup. So that's why they have 20. They get 5 extra champions. And as you saw in the message, Xylena, who's on Check PayPal, said, "You gave us a champ pool with no ADC. Unfortunately, I have no control over that." To be fair, they can do what they want, but they could go ADTF. I'm just going to say it. They could.
Yeah, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a comp's what you make of it. And ARAM, or excuse me, yeah, having an ADC on ARAM is nice and all, but there is still plenty of AD available for Check PayPal if they want to kind of play into that. Jarvan, of course, you can go full AD Assassin Jarvan or Suicide Jarvan, really, when you're talking about ARAM.
Mm-hmm.
You have champs like Yone as well. Yone is basically an ADC, going to build like an ADC. You have Hwei, of course, who can build AD Nocturne. As you mentioned, ADC TF, not my favorite pick because I swear they really didn't really do much with it. Or rather, it's not just a great pick, but ultimately, there's stuff that you can do with it. And of course, you've got Mel over on the other side. Mel and Malphite, which I think are incredible ARAM champions. I think it's a good pool for Check PayPal ultimately. Ornn also as well. There's lots of options there for Check PayPal. Meanwhile, Are You Not Amused? Again, they have the larger pool. I don't know if I like their pool as much because there's some interesting selections, sure, but there's fewer what I would typically call power picks. I mean, there's definitely some champions that you can definitely trust to carry in a situation like this. You've got champions like I've seen Nasus become huge in ARAM because of his various adjustments and buffs, nerfs, if you will. I've seen Rise. Again, Rise can do some carrying. We didn't really quite see it last game, but it is still something you have to kind of be aware of. Sivir, she's one of the most nerfed champions in ARAM, but she still does work because at the end of the day, auto attacks that you can't really dodge are still, nice with the bouncing blades and whatnot. But ultimately, I like Check PayPal's pool more, but it's usually the pilots at the end of the day. So we'll see what champions get picked up.
Yeah, I do. I want to be a little careful on giving draft advice just in case. What are you saying, TK? Let's go. Yeah, I want to be a little cautious. There's some stuff that do think would be beneficial for certain comps, but I'll be patient because I don't want people to get like an idea. It would appear that Zombie Smurf is AFK. We DMing him. Did he not know? I wonder if he didn't know there was another game. Hmm. Hmm. I might need to hop in their chat real quick. LaRue, can you say something real quick, please?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here.
Okay. I just forgot to just. Okay, hopefully that's good. Say something again, please. Gotcha. Hello. He just said BRB and then never beat. Oh. Okay, we'll take a quick glance at the draft. Put me in, coach. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for them, but unfortunately for you, Raptor, Zombie Smurf is back. We'll give him another minute. Let's get back to the draft, though. Um, I don't
Yeah, let's go ahead and get back to the draft. I'll slide
know.
back in here. Uh, Ultimately, when I'm looking at these comps, we're not going to lack for frontline in this game. I don't expect Check PayPal and Nari Not Amused to pick fully into squishier team comps. I fully expect them to take advantage of some of the bruisers and tanks that they have made available to them. I am fully expecting one of either Jarvan, Malphite, or Ornn. You have to have that kind of frontline engage, potentially even the Zac as well, if you want to throw that in there. I don't think we're going to see the Rammus. I don't think we're going to see the. I don't think we're going to see the Rammus because ultimately Rammus is way too situational, even with the Rammus changes to make him kind of a balanced champion. As for Nari Not Amused, I expect to see the Shen. I mean, I expect to see the Cassante if you have somebody who can pilot the Cassante. That is important. You got to remember, champ difficulty is very much a factor in these things. But I expect to see both teams to try to go with a front to back comp. I think, ultimately those tanks are important. I think tanks in ARAM are a lot more busted and a lot more focus or benefici. I don't know what the word is, but I think tanks are a little bit overtuned in ARAM, and I would like to see teams take advantage of that fact. So I haven't looked at who's been locked in, just so this could be completely neutral.
Mm-hmm.
But I expect this to be a frontline driven game. And if you're going to be playing a backliner in this game, I think the onus is kind of on you to position wisely so that you don't find yourself blown up at the beginning of fights. Lots of engage coming out for both these sides, probably.
I think your assessment is right. I agree with that. I will say though, I think Rammus here wouldn't be too bad just because you can see the enemy comp and they do have a lot of melee slash AD slash auto attackers. But what I was gonna say is I think Trundle would be huge because the ARAM Check PayPal has a lot of tanky frontline, and having that tank just be able to, or having Trundle be able to just shred that tank with his ultimate, I think would be really good. But we're locked in now. Let's see what they actually ended up picking. No Trundle or Rammus, so my point was irrelevant.
Yeah, but we do see the Jarvan coming out here. And again, the Zac. I mean, I didn't really give Zac the credit, but yeah, Mel's up on the board. You have to pick Mel. Mel is certainly a champion in the year 2025. Now, I don't think that Mel is as broken as some people makes it seem because one, it does take a little bit of smarts to use the ultimate. And two, it's an early game stomper, yes, but it falls off about mid to late game. So you have to kind of make sure that you turn those easy kills that I'm sure Mel's going to be picking up here in the first few minutes into kills down the line. And if you're not positioning well, just like an ADC or just like any other carry, that long range Q is not going to help you very much. So it is something that you're going to have to pilot well. And again, we do see the Yone here as well to give him a little bit of consistent AD. And then, yeah, you see a big beefy comp over on the other side. It's going to be a Protect the Sivir comp here with the Shen, the Cassante, and the Sylas and Ryze just kind of as the backup to kind of do a little bit of damage on the side too.
Trying to figure out a way to position this so you can see both the draft and what could have been picked. I think Mel is going to be kind of tough here because one of the most annoying Mel abilities is obviously her W, the reflect ability, but there's not much she can really reflect on the other side that I think would be that scary. I think Mel does, I want to say 40% extra damage with the reflected skill shot with her W, so the Sivir Q should hit a lot harder if she reflects that, and Sivir Q is slow enough where you can kind of react to that. But we'll see. Check PayPal are a very good team. Xylena is a very good player. I believe Xylena is the one piloting. Oh, it's Koilin. Well, Koilin's also a very good player. So I trust them all to participate in winning this game.
Let's tell me where to pause.
I'm just going through 8, 9, 10. Are you good? Are we synced?
I'm at 15. Hold on. I'll pause at 17 here.
Okay.
17.
I'm at 16, 17, 18.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, I will pause at 22. And then you tell me when to...
All right, I'm ready.
As in play?
Yeah, play.
Okay, I'm at 22, so we're starting from 22. 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, so let's get to it here as we do get into Koshin's Crossing once again. Again, everything we said from the first game pretty much still in effect here. Got to use those portals wisely. Got to use those brushes and the vision that they kind of provide. Again, my main complaint, those brushes, you just stand in the middle of the map here. You can't really see my pings. I'm pinging in the middle of the map right now. You stand there, those brushes aren't doing anything. So we do get some abilities out here early. Looks like we're going to fight before minions even spawn here. Somebody's probably going to die. Nutjuice going to drop down those auto attacks for the quick root. I said everybody's going to die, but I guess everybody didn't really feel like dying or fighting to the death this time through. But you see some health bars already starting low as those minions going to crash. Well, Unort going back in here. There's a knock-up in the combo CC onto Xylena. The Yone going to be the first casualty of this second game of the day. Nutjuice is quite low. He's going to have to give himself up. Zombie Smurf picks up a kill. And meanwhile, I didn't even notice that Furbo has his passive procced early. And he'll die as well. So already a quick 3 kills for Gnar, you not amused. There is that Mel W. Actually found a couple of knockbacks here onto Gnar, you not amused. Not really a whole lot of follow-up, though. Furbo jumps right back in. Big elastic slingshot, down 5. Look at all that CC coming out from Check PayPal. Can they turn this into kills? They already have a couple here, set of numbers, running toward the portal. Going to take it, but I think that's just going to lead him to his eventual demise as he'll try to find the kill on the Koilin, but the abilities do not land. It's a shutdown here early on for low-key parkour. Again, 151 extra gold into the pocket, and that's a nice response there. And Furbo with the big elastic slingshot really set up what was a good team fight for Check PayPal here early on.
Nothing too crazy build-wise. Just recurve bow on the Yone. Looks like Cassante might be rushing Fimbulwinter, potentially. He does have the tier in the Giant's Belt, but maybe we'll build the Giant's Belt later.
Yeah, and you know, Fimbulwinter I don't think is good as a first item. It's not quite the same, I don't think, as maybe the other tier items. I mean, AD tier item's not really a first item either, but hold that thought. Again, it's Chain CC coming down on Gnar, you not amused. It's currently a 2-for-1. Mushmarrow, though, trying to walk away from low-key parkour. Unork still doing some fighting here, but remember, he's just a Shen. He's not going to be dropping too much damage. And Mel is eventually able to pick that kill up. Koilin with the double kill. Actually, yeah, that was a double kill. And an ace here for Check PayPal's low-key parkour, just going to give himself up. No mana. He's going to try to die. No, it's going to be the shutdown picked up by, that was actually picked up by Bone Kevin, who was the last to damage, didn't wait long enough. So that Silas going to get a little bit of extra gold. And we didn't talk about the Silas here, TK. Ult-wise, not a whole lot, I don't think. I mean, the Nautilus is nice, I guess. Yone can be useful. Jarvan, perhaps, but there's not a whole lot here, I think, for Bone Kevin to work with. Not a lot of game-changing ultimates. Get another Elastic Slingshot here from Furbo. We'll just kind of have to hold the analysis for later as Check PayPal really just wants to fight and fight and fight. Health bars low. Koilin on a rampage. Xylena going in, goes back in under the tower, will die. Bone Kevin picking up the kill. Couple tower shots down onto Check PayPal. Unork again finds himself in the back line. He's going to be exhausted just to make sure. No, he's still going to find the kill onto Koilin. But Unork will eventually die. Mushmarrow, the last one left alive on that Cassante. And 200 years is not going to be enough to save his life. It's a triple for low-key parkour. And we already have 23 kills here in 4 minutes. This one's a little bit faster paced. And
a
little more faster paced than what we had in our first game of the day, but you're starting to see those kind of carries come to fruition. Again, low-key parkour going with that AD Jarvan, kind of working around the fact that they have no ADC. And, of course, as we expected from the Mel, lots of early kills for Koilin. More fighting here in front of Check PayPal's Tier 1 turret. Xylena tries to snap back, but dies on the way back. A set of numbers with his 4th kill of the game. Going in, getting a little bit of extra health. That's Bone Kevin. Big 3-man knockup from Mushmarrow. Pushes Furbo back into the fight. Furbo trying to regain some health, but eventually will meet his demise. Low-key parkour. Back on in. Jumps on the Zombie Smurf with the flash auto. Gets the kill, but immediately taken down by a set of numbers. Hook coming in from Nut Juice. But set of numbers, just like the last game, he's showing off the early game proficiency, I think, in these team fights. He's already got 7 for himself here. So we're still even in kills, despite the rank differential, which I feel like we do need to talk about a little bit, because, yes, it is competitive ARAM, and Summoner's Rift rankings don't really matter, but skill-wise, you'd expect maybe Check PayPal to be the superior team.
Well, we know... Oh, I'm just going to not talk.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not giving you any time here in this one. There is the Cataclysm coming out, and that's going to keep the rest of Gnar, you not amused locked down. Zombie Smurf last one left alive, and that's an easy dive for Check PayPal. They'll find the ace for 5 for 1.
All right, I'm going to talk before there's another fight. So, yeah, Check PayPal also, they are very good solo queue players. They're also high ranked on the leaderboard system we have on this tournament server. As a set of numbers will get caught out here.
Yep, that was not a good portal for the set of numbers. And for Mushmarrow and Unork, they're just trying to keep Check PayPal off that tier 2 tower. Here in comes Bone Kevin, but you just see how much CC they have. They're so... they are just able to chain that together for so long, although Xylena does die. You see the health bars are not necessarily as high as they could be. Or Gnar, you not amused. However, still able to make the most of it, though, as they do get some kills back, a 4 for 1.
Interesting. So
you think... Yeah.
Zach rushed a Randuin's into 180 crit builder. Huh.
That is an anti-Sivir item.
Yeah, I guess
maybe theoretically.
Slow.
Yeah, theoretically, yes. I'm not quite sure though, but I mean, I'm not going to argue with the higher ranked player here.
Yeah.
Got ourselves another team fight. Nut Juice picks up the first kill. Koilin makes it 7-2. And now low-key parkour, we're going to add his name into the mix as well. There is the flag and drag, turns into a double for Nut Juice. And I mean, yeah, the slow is nice. And I think Furbo's finding himself in the middle of fights almost immediately. And so when you're jumping on to 4 or 5 members of the team, that is a high-value active. That's a high-value slow.
Absolutely.
And it is for 2 seconds as well, so I can definitely see the reasoning there, even if the crit component isn't as strong in this contest. That is Bone Kevin taking the Yone ult, just kind of uses it to use it. as Furbo will go down for the 6th time in this one. And you got to give it to Gnar Not Amused. They are certainly fighting back. Kills are relatively even, but they find themselves down in gold, and they haven't really been able to create a lot of time for themselves to damage this tower. I think they've really focused maybe perhaps too much on fighting, and that's not necessarily their fault because of all the engage from Check PayPal, but they just haven't been able to get objectives here.
Gnar Not Amused are also all late game champions. They're all scaling with the mana items on Rise, with Roa for the Silas. They have 2 Heart Steals, and Sivir's just a beast late game. So if they scale, there could maybe be a potential comeback here, considering how far behind they are now, but we'll have to wait and see because they're kind of on a timer.
Yeah, the problem is, though, once one member gets CC'd, the rest of the CC flies on in. That's a huge ult coming through from Xylina. Already a 3-for-0 Bone Kevin down. It's a double for Coilin. Xylina taking some tower shots. Unork is tanky. It's going to take a while to take him down, but ultimately it is a 5-for-0 ace here for Check PayPal. And yeah, that's... I mean, there's just so much synergy, I think, between Furbo, Xylina, and low-key parkour, because once one of those members gets the first initial knock-up, if the rest of the team is ready to go, it's so easy to land the rest. Like, all you have to do is just kind of make sure you click in the right spot, as we're going to fight here underneath the Nexus towers.
Oh, man.
And a numbers finds the kill. Actually, big ultimate there coming through, and yeah, I mean, that's going to be a clean sweep here of Check PayPal. Only Xylina, who is the lone casualty of that last fight, left alive here. So that's kind of the pattern here. Check PayPal finds an ace, they push a little bit, and then they just kind of die to Gnar Not Amused. But Gnar Not Amused not able to really push back the other way because of where Check PayPal is dying.
Yeah, Check PayPal is already all up, and they're teleporting as we speak.
Yeah, they jump in, and they know they have the advantage. They know they want to fight some more. That's a huge ultimate from Coilin. You see those health bars just explode. It's another ace for Check PayPal. And yeah, I don't want to say this one's over because it really isn't. But like, it just feels like Check PayPal is much too in sync with one another in the comp they've been able to draft here to realistically expect Gnar Not Amused to do anything about it. They're going to have to dodge some abilities, but there's just a lot coming at them simultaneously.
They're focusing 2 towers at once, so they're not going to end up getting either one of them.
Yeah, both Nexus towers still up, but Gnar Not Amused wants another fight. Zombies First does pick up the kill on the Nut Juice, so it's going to turn into a 5-on-4. Cataclysm sets up the easy ult for Xylina, finds a follow-up knock-up. Coilin on a killing spree. And set of numbers. Can he really turn this one around?
Oh.
Still very healthy. Kills Coilin. Last one left is low-key parkour, and wouldn't you know it, he finds the kill. So, Gnar Not Amused, able to defend at the moment their Nexus towers. They'll pick up the ace. Set of numbers, a little bit of time to clear this wave. Although, again, with nobody else left alive, they're not going to be able to push.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's what they needed. Rise is really good here with the mana items that he currently has. Frozen Heart complete, so if Yone gets on top of him, he's just going to get reduced attack speed, which is very frustrating if you're Coilin here. Sorry, Xylina here playing the Yone. And, I mean, they have a lot of Heartsteel stacks, so they are slowly scaling, but, I mean, I think one more last fight, and I think Gnar is out of this, and this might be the last fight.
Yeah, they're going to look for a conclusive finish here, I believe. There comes the knockups. Everybody just into the middle. Coilin going to use that ultimate. Doesn't really find anything off the initial cast, but the health bars are taken low enough for the rest of the team to help clean up. Low-key parkour makes it a double kill, and Furbo picks up the final kill, and I think that will do it here. The death timers are at about 15 seconds. The one thing that Check PayPal doesn't necessarily have is quick and easy wave clear, but I think they've been able to power right through that, as Nut Juice will go ahead and tank the towers here. That'll wrap things up in 12 minutes. So Check PayPal comes in, and despite not having an ADC, it's an empty complaint at the end of the day, as they're able to wrap this one up quickly here. Hold on. Well, do we get one more fight? Are they going to focus Nexus? Not quite yet. Let's get one more fight in for good measure. That Nexus tower, that Nexus, I should say, is taking damage during all of that. Just a couple deaths to round out the score at an even 80 kills. But again, it's Check PayPal coming out on top.
They've shown that they are the second highest ranked team in the server, maintaining their spot. Maintaining their status as I heard a league invite. Hopefully my client didn't crash here. There it goes. Um, I'm getting an invite. What's going on here? Did someone post the match results? I don't think they post. Oh wait, someone. Okay, so now we updated the bracket. Ignore the ads, man. I don't. I'm over the ads. Okay, so we have Gnar Amused lost to Czech PayPal, so they will advance to semifinals. Semifinals we need to wait, and then I believe it was Queef that won. Love that name. Um, we'll move him up here. All right, so then our next matchup that we will be spectating will be out of our Hwei versus you in Luong neighborhood. And then semifinals will need to wait, and Gnar United Muse will need to wait for the results of this. So we only have one game happening, and that will be out of our way versus you in Luong neighborhood. I will make the draft for them. Both of them are evenly matched, or close enough in match to where they will get the similar amount of champions. So I will set that up. That will be out of our Hwei on team 1/blue side. You in Luong neighborhood on the opposite. I think that should work. Yep, there it goes. I'm going to notify the teams. I'm going to mute Discord. Okay. Draft has, yeah, draft has been posted. Draft has been posted. Mhm. Okay. I will notify these lads. Okay, out of our Hwei needs to switch sides, but I'll worry about that later. Actually, while we're sitting here, I can create the Czech PayPal draft. Might as well. I do the drafts early if it's even for everyone involved. Um, so since they're waiting for a round, might as well give them time, and then we can just immediately hop in for them. That was wrong. Ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore that. I didn't do the. Oh wait, that could have worked. Okay, well, okay, it could have worked, but it's deleted now. I figured that I would need to balance things differently, but they're close enough in rank where they don't need any special balance changes. I don't think any. It was probably just like one quick glimpse. My apologies. I'm still new to doing this individual balancing thing. All right, here's the draft for Czech PayPal. We're not watching this game, but I'm going to notify them. Uh, hello? Hey, congrats on the win. Just wanted to say that I posted the draft, but you're not going to be starting, so ignore the timer. I'll type that in chat. Because the other game needs to catch up. The bracket needs to catch up to you guys. Okay. You saw what? What did I do? Yeah, I messed up. Yeah, you are right. Oh no. Uh, uh. All right. I may or may have not been flamed because apparently they got Katarina in the first draft. But it's okay. You know, we match will start after the game being streamed ends. All right. So this is the match that we are currently going to be looking at out of our Hwei versus Yuin Long neighborhood. I shall Yuin out of our way needs to switch sides. And Creamy Pie needs to get out.
I'm not even in.
Yeah, I'm working on it. He should have received an invite from me. You are now, the stream can hear you now. FYI. We are inviting Luong Neighborhood for this match. So the loser of this match will be eliminated. So you do not want to lose this. I will invite everyone, then we'll talk more about draft. You can see it slightly in the background as a bit of a teaser. Oh, it's going to get that emoji, I bet. Ah! So who are they missing? Araxi? No, Araxi is there. Berserker. That's who they're missing. Okay, let's talk about draft. I find it funny. I don't know if this was. I don't think this is in Ladsy's control. For those of you that don't know, Ladsy is a player on Team I'm Down for that programmed this TK bot. He's unfortunately not competing in this event, but I don't know how the image updating thing works because you notice we still have the old Skarner update or the old Skarner icon that is not updated, the old Victor icon. But hopefully people know it's also listed here in case they don't recognize the images. But it's always funny to see those old images. Let's talk about draft though. Out of our Hwei Long neighborhood, again, the loser of this match will be eliminated. We have a little bit of time left, I think.
Yeah, if we want to talk about draft here, when I look at out of our Hwei, when I look at this comp, I mean, I want to see the Yuumi.
Oh?
Because Yuumi is disgusting as long as you have something that Yuumi can enable. And they have options there for that Yuumi to sit on, whether it be the AD carries. You have three. I am a purveyor of Kindred over the other two, just simply because Kindred, I think, goes under the radar a lot when talking about strong ARAM champions. It is very easy to get stacks on Kindred if you choose the right champions and if you're willing to sell out a little bit for those champions to make sure that you get your stacks early on. Kindred can get insanely good. Tristana, Zaya, also good selections as well, even if I prefer Kindred a little bit. But you also have some champions that I think Yuumi can sit on and just kind of turn into monsters. The Urgot, the Kled, the Aurelia, the Xin Zhao, the Garen. You have a lot of options if somebody is willing to play the Yuumi in conjunction with maybe one of those bruisers, fighters, or AD carries. I see Mel. Likely we're going to see Mel because Mel's just... Everybody loves playing Mel. Nobody likes playing against her, is what I have found. So Mel likely to come out here for out of our Hwei. And yeah, I mean, that's a strong pool, I think, for out of our Hwei when it comes down to it. It's just a matter of can they build a comp to kind of accentuate their player strengths. Now, are you in Luong neighborhood? They've got some picks too. I'm not as bully about this pool. I like Victor. I think Victor should be seen because Victor adds a lot of wave clear. Victor adds a lot of damage. Victor's just overall a strong champion. So I'd like to see that. The Tom Kench, the Aatrox, I would like to see one of those too because obviously you need some kind of front line here. That's the one thing they didn't really get is a lot of a strong frontline kind of selection, so to speak. We did see you in Long Neighborhood pick up the Alawi in game one. It wasn't really that great, but that's certainly there. They don't really have a lot. Well, Aphelios. I think Aphelios needs to be seen too, because I think Aphelios, despite all of the kind of craziness going on with his kit and all the things you kind of have to know, he's a relatively easy champion to pilot. He's one of them easy to learn but hard to master kind of champions. And I think he can really kind of pop off in this kind of setting. So we'll see. I like out of our Hwei's pool way more than you in Long Neighborhood. But as I said in game two, it really all just comes down to who's piloting the champions and if they're able to kind of execute their win cons.
I mean, one thing that I will say about you in Luong neighborhood is They could. I don't think this would necessarily be a good comp, but they could potentially do an anti-engage comp. Like you could go Tom Kench, use his ultimate to defend his allies, Kale ult to defend your allies. You could go Samira W to block the skill shots and whatever's being thrown. You could do Vex, so if they engage, you might be able to fear them or use that as a way to engage. I mean, you and Long Neighborhood could do something very weird here and just say, if you want to fight us, we can. And also, Samira, I've never thought about this until I'm seeing this draft. Samira kind of does counter Mel in a way because of the E that Mel throws out. If Mel reflects something, you can also use Samira W to shoot it out and defend it like a wind wall. Um, but at the same time, I do agree with you. I do actually really like Kindred. One thing that I would be a little worried about is if Alawi gets into Kindred and Kindred ults, you basically give Alawi a free ultimate, being invulnerable with all those
Sure.
tentacles. But I still think Kindred might be worth it because again, in a coordinated team environment, if everyone is on the same page and you get that Kindred stacking early, I completely agree with you with her getting ahead and just steamrolling in the game. But we'll have to wait and see. I think both teams. Oh, we are already in Champion Select. Yippee!
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, like to kind of illustrate my point, and I think a lot of people probably watching play ARAM, so they kind of understand this. You pick Kindred, you tag the Tom Kench early because the Tom Kench wants to go in. Now, obviously, I don't know if we're going to see Tom Kench. I don't know if we're going to see Kindred, but you tag the Tom Kench. Tom has a choice to make. Does he either go in and risk dying? Because again, it procs on assist just as well. Do you go in and do you give Kindred the early stack? Because it only needs 4. Or do you just kind of hang back, but then you're kind of useless?
Hmm.
It's kind of a mental game when you play against a Kindred in ARAM. But again, don't know if it's coming out. I more or less just want to see the Yumi more than anything. I think the Yumi is the most important champion in this pool for out of our way, just because of what the Yumi can provide. So we can take a look now at the comps. They're all locked in, and yeah, there's the Yumi, no Kindred, but they are still going to pick up a Xayah to go along with that, and I think that's just as well because ultimately, you got to give something for Yumi to sit on, and the Xin Zhao too, and never underestimate a Yumi on a fed bruiser.
Hmm. I'm not sure. I kind of like you and Long Neighborhoods comp a little more personally. I think they just have a very good engage, and then if they engage, the Tom Kench can save them with the Devour. Vex, I think will be all right here. Although Mel, yeah, Mel can easily reflect Vex abilities, Victor abilities, Gnar Boomerang, Aphelios things. So I think Mel is actually just the stonks went significantly higher in favor of Mel. Echo will probably have a little difficulty ulting unless he rush Merc's treads. Who do you think Yumi's gonna attach to this game, if you had to take a guess?
I would almost certainly say expect her to attach to Xayah early on, and then it's really just who gets strong. If the Xayah isn't necessarily as strong as they'd like, I would fully expect her to move on to the Xin Zhao to make sure that one, lots of shields,
Mm-hmm.
lots of healing for your primary engage. That Xin Zhao, they're putting a lot of trust in the Xin Zhao to kind of be that engage. It's not a comp that has a lot of engage, but it also allows the Yumi to hit her ult more consistently as well. So you can get up into that front line and you'll find an easier time landing those waves onto people. So I would think if the Xayah doesn't really start off strong, fully expect her to go onto the Echo or the Xin Zhao. We won't see her on Mel at all. So let's just go ahead and take that away. It's not really a strong combo. But Mel's going to be doing her own thing anyway, just kind of blocking these Vex abilities all game. You said Vex is not going to have a good time in the Mel. That's absolutely the case. Vex's abilities are some of the slowest missile speeds in the game. She's very telegraphed if she doesn't land her fear first. So, yeah, this is a rough one for Vex, and I love Vex. Vex, one of my mains, but it is not a fun matchup into Mel. But it's easily counterable by not trying to go after the Mel. So we will see how things go, but we'll go ahead and pause here because I'm sure we loaded in at different times. I'm at 10.
I'm at 10. Oh,
Or,
I didn't pause, but why can't I
well, I'm at
pause?
13.
I'm at
I'm at 13.
14.
Okay, I'll go to 14. Well, if the timeline wouldn't quit moving, there we go. I'm at 14. If you
All
want to
right.
count us down.
3, 2, 1, play.
All right, so let's go ahead and get on into this one here, and hopefully we get ourselves a fun matchup here. I think this is one's going to be just like the last game. Very, very explosive. Lots of kills. And you're going to have some very strong hyper carries as immediately we kind of see the Yuumi hop onto the Mel. Sometimes I think I know things, but we're already fighting here at level 3. Aliuna taking a lot of damage, trying to get to the safety of the portal. Project Snail jumps forward, but it is going to be Hwei who picks up the kill. Hwei going into more of a carry role than the first time we saw them today. From the Sona to the Aphelios. That's a big route from Araxia. But, yeah, it's already a kill here for Luong neighborhood, as they're able to kind of use that range early. And now, I was going to say, now the Yuumi hops onto the Xayah, but Araxia repays that trust by immediately taking a boomerang to the face. Or, excuse me, a Aphelios Q to the face. And now Bikini Bottom actually take the first kill on that Yuumi. Berserker's Graves already a kill back. We're already even at 2-2. Make it a double here for Berserker's Graves. Still fighting here as we continue to trade. Sorry, a little bit hard to follow there for some reason, as we already have 8 kills in a minute and a half. The minions just came together, but already 8 kills and already a couple here for this Mel. And like we said in the last game, TK, Mel is so easy to pick up kills on in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes or so, because ultimately all you have to do is auto attack somebody to kind of finish things off. So it's what you do with that after the fact that I think that is most important here for Bees Nuts. Fighting more. Ooh. Here's a nice 3-man stun from Berserker's Graves. Aliuna more than happy to follow up onto that, although he will die. Project Snail picking up his first kill. Snowball onto Berserker's Graves. Do they follow up on it? They do. Project Snail jumping in. Does drop the fear, but will take a little bit of damage from the Echo Q. Berserker's Graves look like he's going to get out alive. Araxia will not, however. Kind of took Berserker's Graves' place and is sent back for the second time here in this one. That Yuumi, again, yeah, just sitting on top of Bees Nuts is... Bees Nuts will send a boulder back into the face of Catacon.
Okay, I thought another fight was going to break out. I didn't want to speak. Last chapter is completed on both of the mages. Kenshin will appear to go to the Heartsteel first. Pretty common build. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the Heartsteel here, though, because you don't have very many melees to proc it on. Just Xin and Echo can be a little squirrely. But we'll see if I'm proven wrong. Hwei does have Infernum Gravitum, I believe is the name of those weapons. It's going to feel really good. So he has AoE auto attacks along with the slow, for those of you that are not caught up with the Aphelios weapons. One of the probably most confusing champions.
3-man W here, and that's going to be the go button for, we'll call him Blue Team. Give me a second. But they do find an ace.
Out of our Hwei.
There we go. Out of our way. That was definitely one of the calls of all time. Big 5-man ace, and they're going to go ahead and get a lot of tower damage down here. And I think Project Snail's going to have a choice to make. Do you take the portal? He's going to try to. Does follow up with the fear and the kill on the Bees Nuts. Good choice. They still do lose this tier 1 tower. Probably the quickest we've seen a tower go down today. Carnelios into the fight, or Carnios, excuse me. Catacon finds a kill on Aliona. Berserker's Greaves in the thick of things here. That health bar dropping in the Victor ultimate. Eventually, it's the shutdown for Catacon. Araxia goes down next, but not before he picks up a double kill. Last man left is the Yuumi, trying to get to Bees Nuts, but Righteous Penguin picks up the double kill just in time. So we already have a tower down. Luong neighborhood, not necessarily off to a fantastic start. But sometimes those early towers don't really mean much if the goal is relatively even, because things can swing back just as easily. And I think they also have good wave clear as well between the Aphelios and the Vex and the Victor. So I think kind of the problem we saw in Game 2 with the wave clear, I don't think it's going to show itself here in this game.
I agree with you. The wave clear on both sides are actually really, really good. I wonder if, especially if Aphelios does decide to go Runans, we shall see. The Yuumi just seems to be switching targets. Oh, okay, she went back to the Echo. Last time I looked, she was on the Xin. But yeah, makes sense. Lichbane completed onto the Echo as he's looking for another parallel convergence.
Yeah, jumps in there and is not going to find anything. Of note, Echo is currently the best friend of Yuumi, so it is worth it more for Bikini Bottom to be on top of that Echo. There is the ultimate used on the Berserker's Graves, going to try to flash away. Aliuna using that ultimate, jumps back in. That's a big ultimate coming through from B's Nuts. Looks like it's so far a fight for out of our Hwei, and they'll find another ace. This time it's a 4-1 ace. And look where that minion wave is. It's in a great spot. They're going to land even more damage onto this tier 2 tower. So far, this has probably been one of the more one-sided games we've seen. Although, again, ARAM's notoriously shifty. But if you're talking about just pushing those objectives, it's been great work so far from out of our Hwei. Berserker's Graves looks like he's going to give himself up. That actually, unfortunately, leaves Bikini Bottom to just dive. Project Snail using the ultimate onto the Yuumi to secure the kill. Second cast going to come up a little bit short, but it's 3 kills back for you in Long Neighborhood.
Thunder's Blades
6 minutes in
on the mages and Heartsteel on the tanks. So again, I'm always hesitant with Heartsteel in certain situations in ARAM tournaments because the games just feel so fast. I don't think you can fully utilize it. Hizichan does now have the sniper and the red gun. What's that called? Do you know the weapon names?
No, I don't. But I know that we do the colors, but
we do the colors.
Red, we just do the colors. Red is Severum. I know that. I don't remember what green is per se. I think it is. I don't know. Blue is definitely Infernum. Blue is Infernum, though, and what you need to know, that is obviously the best one, because it's AoE, and with Runins, it turns into something fierce. Although, you have to have some kind of kiting ability, and you in Long Neighborhood just doesn't have a lot to kite right now, as it's another ace for out of our Hwei.
They're going to shred this tower for sure because of the Lichbane onto the Echo. They have really good damage. They're all damaged, literally all of them, but the Echo E is going to shred that thing. They're going to get that.
Tier 2 tower down, but they want more. They're going to look for the fight off of the portals. Richest Penguin in some trouble as he will be the first to die here. Already 2 more kills for out of our Hwei. They jump onto Hizichan, who gets back to the safety of the Nexus towers. Project Snail with a kill on back onto Aliuna. Project Snail trying to protect this inhibitor, but won't be able to. An inhibitor down in 7.5 minutes. Berserker's Graves, low health bar, but still with the safety of the Yuumi, diving back on in. Project Snail, though, turns around the kill. Bikini Bottom turns back onto Araxia, going to look for the safety of that Xayah. Xayah, though, just focusing on hitting the Nexus towers, just says, you know what? It's not really worth it to head on back. I'll take the reset. And, yeah, it's an ace. Well, not quite an ace. Aliuna did come up, but essentially an ace here for you in Long Neighborhood.
Next fight should be hopefully a bit better for you in Long Neighborhood because they do have the Seeker's Arm Guard on the Vex. And they should have ultimates if they wait long enough. Vex will not have ults, unfortunately, but they're going to try their best to push with this wave. The wave clear is just too intense as there's a parallel convergence. Does land onto Gnar. Won't do much from that. Redemption completed onto the Yuumi, so that's going to help because they keep on pushing and they're just diving these fights really, really well as they will just do that. Redemption is such a strong item in ARAM. I don't know why more supports don't rush it, especially in a competitive event like this where you might not have the opportunity to build a ton of items. Making sure everyone's healed up is very fantastic as Tom Kent eats the victor. Here's the fight.
Eats the victor, has to use it defensively. Here comes the fight, yes, but it looks like you in Long Neighborhood doesn't have a lot to do here as their health bars are immediately dropped and immediately they find themselves on the back foot again. And I think that might be ball game. 9 minutes in, and out of our Hwei, they just run them down. Like we said before the game, I think they had a better pool to begin with, but they've used it very, very well. And the only question left is, are they going to end this quickly, or are they just going to look up to run up the kill count here? Jumping back in, Carnios. Although I will say their health bars are low, so this might not be the end after all. Bees Nuts jumping on in, just going to try to find a kill on the Hizichan. Bikini Bottom.
Trying to hit
I appreciate the effort, but is going to go down. It's a double kill for Hizichan and an ace for you in Long Neighborhood, but I think this one's pretty much written in stone unless something major changes here and you in Long Neighborhood starts to find something to just that they haven't really done so far, which is kind of maybe play a little bit defensively and kite back, keep the carries alive. I just think this one's kind of donezo. We already have ourselves a 1-for-1. Catacon taken low. Snowball does connect on the Richest Penguin. Didn't see who connected with it. I think that was Berserker's Graves. Not going to take it. And we just kind of do our little dance here as we wait for the next big team fight. With an open nexus, remember, it's important for you in Long Neighborhood to engage early lest they get pushed back onto their own nexus. Aliuna, though, he says, you know what? If you're not going to engage, I just will. Instead, takes down Rich's Penguin. Hizichan in some trouble. He is the next to fall. Make it a double. Catacon in the back line pushes Beesnuts into the wall. Nice reflect there. Catacon dies. And it's a 3 for none. Now they'll turn their attention to Carnios. Pops that gray health, but will not save him. And Project Snail will be the final casualty of this game. In 11 minutes, in short order, it is out of our Hwei who survives. And that'll do it here for you in Long Neighborhood. They're eliminated here from this tournament.
Hey, well, rest in peace to you in Long Neighborhood. As LaRue has mentioned, they have now been eliminated. Next, we will be watching Out of Our Hwei versus Gnar. You Not Amused. Simultaneously will be the semifinals. And again, as always, I always try to prioritize the losers bracket because losers have more on the line currently because they're fighting for their lives essentially. So semifinals will not be streamed here, but I want to make sure that it is set up. As Xylena messaged me again saying no ADC. So we need Out of Our Way, switch sides. Let me see. I'm going to mute the Discord, and then I'm going to hop in the other team chats. Hey, do you guys happen to have a game set up by any chance? We do not. Okay, I'll make one. Actually, hang on. Let me set up the next game. Okay, you guys will be facing Out of Our Hwei. Is everyone here? Okay. Numbers, sent you an invite. uh, LaRue is in the way. He's spectating. I'll make the draft for you guys. Quick. Draft has been made. Draft has been. Okay, you figured it out. Yep. All right. I assume no game has been set up still. Okay. Um. You know what? Okay. All right. I'll invite you guys. You guys are team one, blue side. My invite's not going through. I invited Coilin. I invited Furbo, but I don't think that one went through. I just invited NJ. Alright, if you guys could get Furbo in here. Who are you missing? Oh, it was Eilena. Alright. I'll leave you guys up to inviting Furbo and Xylena because I can't for some reason. I'll set up the other team. Howdy. Well, I'm inviting you guys now. Correct. I think I invited all of you. If I did not, then okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to remake the lobby because we got Cochin's Crossing every time, and I'm not sure if it was bugged or someone misclicked and selected Cochin's Crossing. So I want to remake the lobby. Hopefully, I'll explain that to them, but um, nothing's going to change. It's just I want to make sure it's actually randomized because the fact that we've only seen Cochin's Crossing felt a little suspicious. They're probably going to be like, why is he inviting me? I did not explain this at all. Are my invites even going through? It says no one's being invited. Yeah, I'm gonna hop in their team chat real quick. How much time do they have? They have 2 minutes. I'll wait till there's like a minute left. Stay in there, please, LaRue, just in case. Has anyone typed ready or anything yet? Okay. Hmm. Yeah, because for whatever reason, I kind of wonder if somehow it got stuck on Kosher. I'm not sure, but I want to make sure it's random map. If I go through the VOD and it turns out I accidentally selected Koshin's Crossing, I'll feel very sad. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt them because they're probably focused on draft. But I couldn't even invite them in the first place. Let's see if... Okay, they're already in game, so we have semifinals underway. And I already did the draft for these guys, which is why they're so quick. I did that 2:02. It's now 2:33. They had about 30 minutes to decide on draft, or sorry, 20 minutes. 30 minutes. Can't do math apparently to decide. But we're focusing on this. Right now, I'm just trying to get the game set up because we're going to have plenty of time to talk about draft. But might as well talk about it now, as I will unmute you, LaRue. But like I said, I want to try and remake the lobby.
Yeah, if you want me to just talk about the draft a little bit here, one of the things I notice out of our Hwei, they have an aggressive comp, at least as far as carries are concerned. When you look at things, you see that there's Draven, there's Jinx, there's Ashe. all kind of just go AD carries in their own separate ways. Obviously, Draven's just kind of go in the way he kind of has to if you want to play him properly. Jinx obviously has her resets, and Ashe can be the primary engage, which is something that they don't have a terrible amount of. They do have a bit with Rakan, Gragas, and Pyke available to them, but Ashe can certainly kind of help shore that up. An interesting pick that I don't think we're going to see that certainly could be a choice is Briar. A lot of people I just think are a little bit scared of Briar for good reason because she's very tricky to kind of pilot if you hit Q or if you hit W at the wrong time and you don't really have your E or you just kind of focus onto the wrong target, things can go wrong very, very quickly. I think Briar is one of those champs that if you can get through the early game on ARAM, she's going to reward you in a big, big way because you're going to have a lot of healing. You're going to have a lot of damage depending on your build. Like, it's a champion that can certainly turn things around. You can go from like 3-8 to like 12-8 very, very quickly on Briar. But like I said, I very much don't expect to see that one. Also kind of went over the Tristana or kind of just skipped over the Tristana, kind of fills into that same go ADC kind of carry role that we were talking about there. Cho'Gath, always a menace, especially if the opposing comp is more melee focused. But other than that, I think out of our way has a nice balanced kind of range of champs to pick from. It's just kind of what they want out of their comp. Meanwhile, Are You Not Amused? They have some picks. I mean, I say they have some picks. They really do have some picks. I mean, the one thing I'm not really seeing is a tank. And they have a Mumu. They have Aatrox and Volibear. Not quite filling that tank role, Aatrox and Volibear. Obviously more of kind of just like bruisers and fighters. They don't really have that primary tank, but I do expect to see a Mumu just because of the value he brings to a potential team fight. If you can bandage toss, flash, get all 5 members of out of our Hwei, you can end a fight before it really even begins. So Amumu certainly a champion. The only problem is, does anybody really want to play Amumu? Because ultimately nobody really wants to play Amumu. AD carry wise, you have Twitch, you have Varus, you have Ezreal and Senna as options, and obviously Ezreal, Senna. Well, actually, it's a pretty good selection there of AD carries, if we're going to be honest, because ultimately Ezreal and Varus bring the poke. Twitch kind of brings that 1v9 potential, and Senna is just very good utility-wise. The Cassio's there, the Vex is there. I mean, those, obviously, if you're looking for a little bit extra AP damage, you could also maybe go Nico. Nico's got one of those game-changing kind of ultimates, but as far as who has the edge in this draft, I would say, in the pool, I think this one's pretty much a wash. I really don't think you can really determine who's going to have the advantage one way or another, because I think ultimately both pools have exactly what a good ARAM comp needs. Although I will say Are You Not Amused again doesn't really have a wide selection of tanks to choose from.
Yeah, I don't know. I completely agree with you. I think both sides are pretty evenly balanced, as you stated. What are your thoughts on Nyla and ARAM?
Nyla is, well, she's tricky because the best part of her kit, the shared of experience, only works if you've got a team that is willing to funnel the minions to you. And that's not always going to happen. I mean, obviously, this is a little bit more coordinated here in a competitive setting than just random fives. But her ult, I don't think is super fantastic because it's such a low radius that I don't find her to be worth it, especially with the ADCs that they can pick. The Jinx, the Ashe, the Draven, the Tristana. I think those bring a lot more to the table than Nyla does. So I'm not expecting to see it. If there is somebody on out of our Hwei that is perhaps a Nyla expert, sure, break it out, because I think there is something to be said for a good Nyla, because it, the shared experience is nice if they get the minions, the ability to dodge auto attacks, although you're kind of banking on Are You Not Amused having an auto attack kind of focused champion. But yeah, I ultimately think we're not going to see Nyla. I think we're going to see Rakan. I think we're going to see Jinx. I want to see Briar. I'm not committed to it. or I'm not sure if we're gonna see it, but I would really love to see it. I think we're gonna see Gragas because Gragas is a fan favorite, and then I think that's that 4. I think that's 4, and then if we want to try to go for the full prediction, I think we're gonna see a Pyke because everybody seems to play Pyke when it's open. So
It is popular, but it has now been locked in. Let's talk about the actual draft.
well, I wasn't that close.
A little off, but you got Briar.
I got 3 of 4 right. That's pretty good.
That was
I
pretty
got
good.
Briar, I got Jinx, and I got Rakan. But yeah, they're going to go with the Ashe for a little bit of extra engage help and then the Trundle. So the Rakan's going to be the primary engage here, and the Ashe is going to kind of be the follow-up. It could also go the other way where the Ashe just kind of fires a blind arrow and then Rakan just kind of jumps to whoever it finds. Meanwhile, on Gnar, You're Not Amused, the Amumu, like I said, it was almost a guarantee we were going to see that Amumu. I think that was kind of the one must pick for this side. They are going to go with the potential Wombo combo here with Neeko. So if Amumu can get in and Neeko can follow up right away, perhaps with a snowball ult or just maybe an ult off the blue, that's a pretty solid comp, or that's a pretty solid little combo there. They are going to go 2 ADCs as well. So they've got the Twitch, they've got the Ezreal. Ezreal will help with the poke. Twitch will help with kind of just, being able to carry if this engage comp that out of our Hwei is built can't really get on top of him. And then the Cassiopeia just for kind of AP damage support, just kind of helping out that Neeko. Actually, I should say the Neeko's kind of helping out the Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, much higher damage, I would say. Much higher DPS is the right word there than the Neeko. So I think, again, it's going to be how well can you use that one tank if you're Gnar, You're Not Amused. Although out of our Hwei didn't really pick the beefiest comp themselves. But this should be a good one. And I'm looking forward to seeing Briar here on an ARAM map because, again, Briar's a lot of fun to watch if it is able to do what it wants to do. It will certainly turn into a monster. We're going to see some fat heals coming out here.
Yeah, we shall see. I think Cassiopeia, that's the one nightmare for Briar is Cassiopeia because of the... Help me out here.
Yes.
What's Cassiopeia W's? You remember the name of?
It's the miasma, and yeah, you're right. It'll as we see a first distant map. I'm gonna pause here at 10.
Okay, give me a sec.
All right, I'm at 10.
I'm at 10 as well. Okay, I'm starting in 3, 2, 1, play.
And so to kind of finish the point, and I'm pretty sure you were gonna make this point as well. Briar can't Q when she is in miasma, so that does take away a pretty big part of her kit. She can't really stun out of that, out of it. So, yeah, miasma's great, and the set of numbers we saw a set of numbers, TK, a couple games ago, really kind of pop off early, and then kind of just let Zombie Smurf kind of take over from there. But we know he's capable on the champion at least, so. Should be a good one. And again, lots on the line here as both these teams obviously want to stay alive here in this tournament. Yeah, and if you're watching the chat here, TK, I think Briar, I think Aliuna is very much aware of where the threat lies for his champion here. Lots of pings onto the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's just... It's tough, but I mean, if you can get on top of Cassiopeia with an Ashe ult and Rakan engage, Cassiopeia can't do anything anyway. So we shall see. We shall see. But a much slower start here in this game than our last couple. Looking for the bind was Mushmarrow, but a little bit too far to the left as Unork steps up, going to eat a couple auto attacks for his trouble. Mushmarrow sending a clone into the bush. Neeko, lots of utility on ARAM. And I think most people know about sending, the clone into the bush and all of that. And I think they fixed the recall trick. So I think there's no longer a way to keep that clone out for longer. I know they said they were going to fix that trick. If you don't already know, you send it out, you start the recall, the clone starts to recall as well, then it just kind of sits there. And then it just becomes kind of a body block. But wow.
I don't think that's a thing anymore. We're going to get our first full-scale team fight here. 2 minutes in. That is Bone Kevin going in. Somehow, it's going to be Gnar, You're Not Amused picking up first blood. Although we're going to turn it into a 2-for-1 double kill here early on for Mushmarrow. And it'll even land a little bit of extra damage here onto Araxia. And TK, I think that lends itself to kind of an important thing that we haven't really talked about a lot today because we've had a lot of early fighting. Who has the better early game, in your opinion, here in this matchup as we see our first Butcher's Bridge casualty? Aliuna chooses the wrong spot and immediately sent back to base. But who do you think has the better early game here?
Man, I think.
I mean, I think I have an answer, but I would like to hear what you have to say.
I kind of think probably Are You Not Amused, blue side. I just think the Amumu and Nico combo is pretty good. Ezreal can land some Qs hopefully as well. Twitch Invis is kind of useful early game because of his attack speed bonus compared to other ADCs. But at the same time, I think that Jinx and Trundle, just the pillar and the chompers, can derail that whole situation. But I'm not sure. What's your opinion? Because he seemed very opinionated.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is easily Are You Not Amused? Because
okay.
I
agree.
I think there's a lot of scaling. I think on out of our Hwei, that they need some items to kind of rectify. Araxia, Bees Nuts, Aliuna, they all need items. I think to truly function here. Berserker's Graves, meanwhile, he's not gonna be great at starting fights, and Bikini Bottom is again just kind of that initial engage that he kind of has to be, but even he needs some items because we're going to see this Rakan, I think, maybe go a little bit tanky to kind of give him a little bit of survivability. But until they get their items, I think Are You Not Amused should really take advantage of the fact that they don't have their items. I want Zombie Smurf to focus on dropping some Qs, dropping some health bars. And then when you hit 6, I mean, you're already 6, but I want to see them land that big ol' ult. I want to see him get into it here. Here we go. There is the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Actually, no, excuse me, not used yet. Bone Kevin holding onto it. There it is. It's a shutdown, though, picked up first by Aliuna. This fight actually a little bit more even than I thought it was going to be. Actually, it's going to be out of our way, just kind of running them down, and it feels like to a certain degree that was a misplay by Are You Not Amused. It's an ace for out of our way, and I think ultimately Bone Kevin just kind of hang on to his ult a little bit too long. I wanted to see it comboed with the Petrifying Gaze as they do lose their tower. It's the first tower of the game. Mushmarrow back in. Doesn't have the Q to follow up onto Araxia, but does land the snowball. Going to take it now. Does he have the auto attacks? Araxia will pick up the health packet, but still, the empowered auto does get the kill back from Mushmarrow. But I think that was kind of a misplay there for Are You Not Amused. I thought they found everything they wanted, or at least they found the nice Petrifying Gaze, but the follow-up wasn't quite there.
It just seemed very uncoordinated. It seemed like they weren't on the same page because I think the Nico ult came at a weird time and the Mumu ult came out at a weird time, and I don't know. It seemed like they were not on the same page for that. And making a mistake like that in ARAM is quite brutal because this game is so snowbally. But we'll see if they'll be able to claw back after that. They're only down about a couple hundred gold, so it's not that big of a deal so far. Sundered Sky completed on the Briar as well as the Trundle. No heart steals this game, unfortunately. Kind of fun to watch that stack, but we won't be getting that. We've been getting a lot of Cassiopeia, by the way, it feels like.
We have, and I think that's just because, one, well, obviously there's a component of luck that it keeps showing up, but two, I think Cassio just, it's such a good ARAM champ because when that Miasma can cover the whole lane. And with the mobility creep here in League of Legends, it can stop a lot of champions. I mean, over on the other side here, again, it's the Briar, but also the Rakan as well. We didn't really talk about it stopping the Rakan. Can't use his dash. Can't use, well, either of his dashes. Can't use the E to get back onto an ally. Can't use the W to engage onto an enemy. It kind of stops the Rakan dead as well. So, and then of course it just applies a slow on everybody else, and nobody likes being slowed. So we get Bone Kevin another bandage tossed in. Bikini Bottom just says, you know what, we ball. Jumps on in here, and we get ourselves another fight. Curse of the Sad Mummy does find 3, but again, there's no follow-up. Aliuna looking to go deep. Screens Bone Kevin. There's a big Pop Blossom, finds 4. But again, do they have the damage to follow up? I think the answer is yes this time. Unork on top. Very healthy. Gonna go into stealth. Gonna drop a few more auto attacks on the Bikini Bottom. But that's a much better fight from Are You Not Amused. They hold the kill lead and a slight gold lead as well here at 200, 7 minutes in. Much better fight there, and I think that really comes from the fact that Unork was in a better position to do some damage after the big ults that time. Well, Mushmarrow Bit of a mistake there. Walked under tower. No real need to do that. There's the follow-up from Bees Nuts to find the shutdown onto Unork. Araxia on the set of numbers, and Zombie Smurf gets taken down. And just when you think it's safe to compliment a team, they kind of just waltz into their own demise here. And that's going to give, well, I forgot tier 1 already taken, but it is going to allow Out of Our Hwei to kind of turn the tables back the other way and push the minions back over to the side of Gnar, You're Not Amused.
Chomper stopping Bone Kevin there. That's unfortunate. Oh, numbers. Oh, no.
Numbers, a victim of the cannon. He jumps in, drops a miasma, is able to kill Araxia before he dies. Aliuna with his 4th kill of the game. Bone Kevin, no Curse of the Sad Mummy yet, but he does at least find some CC onto Aliuna. Aliuna looking to chow down here, taken down by the poison. No, it's Bone Kevin who picks up the kill. Pop Blossom finds both remaining members of Out of Our Hwei, and Zombie Smurf finishes things off. It's an ace back for Gnar, You Not Amused.
Okay, one thing I want to point out, Malignance on the Nico. I love that to combo with the ultimates with Cassiopeia and Amumu. Just guarantee that. And Mushmero has been landing some great ultimates, so fully utilizing that. Triforce completed on the Ezreal, Roa stacking on the Cassiopeia for said numbers. That's interesting. Last time he played Cassiopeia, he did not build Roa. He built Riftmaker. So switching up the build as an Ash ult lands.
Jolt down. And there is the Briar ultimate, jumps on in, but that was actually a clone, so Aliuna effectively wastes the ult to begin this fight. I don't think it's going to matter, though, as you have Araxia just dropping them in. It's an early Runins. Skipped the Infinity Edge, went right to Runins, and those cannons, those rockets are doing some serious work. Bone Kevin, last one left alive, pushed back by the pillar. Aliuna taking the tower, jumps back in to try to heal. That final tower shot does enough damage, but job well done. This tier 2 is going down. Aliuna, you saw... First of all, it's a great fight there from Araxia, and I like that he went to Runins above the Infinity Edge to kind of get those AoE rockets going immediately. But Aliuna... First of all, ulted the clone. Wasn't a great fight. But to allow the tier 2 tower to be taken, kind of just sacrificed himself, is actually, we're not done. Bees Nuts really starting to come into himself as well. Bikini Bottom will eventually die here, and that'll be the end of that. But it's objective control, and we haven't talked a lot about objective control here today, but dying's okay as long as you get something out of it. And I think you got to give credit to Aliuna there for helping that tier 2 go down.
Sorry to interrupt here, but Nico is currently disguised as a minion. I'm not sure which minion because it doesn't appear with the name, but I don't think they know that Nico's a minion.
I think it's the melee minion running backwards, personally. But
yeah, I think you're right in this analysis. That's some good caster analysis.
Yeah, that's I'm very smart here, as they do find the root onto Araxia, and that ends up being the kill. Aliuna gonna go ahead and chase down Bone Kevin to the ends of the earth. Pop Blossom, does he get it off? Yes, he does, on to 3, but does it ultimately matter? As a set of numbers and Unork try to kite on back, there is a knockup onto a set of numbers. Can he find a kill before he dies? Yes, he can with the poison. Does take down Bees Nuts, but another ace for Out of Our Hwei. And yeah, I mean, again, objective control, like as I was saying, kills are even. That's great. But I don't think, they've gotten about maybe a quarter of Out of Our Hwei's tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, they find themselves pushed back to their Nexus. Towers, anyway. It's all about dying in the right spots.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because both ADCs have Runans, so they're just going to be pushing non-stop with very minimum effort, which is really interesting because they don't really need the wave clear because they're so far ahead. But now it's going to be basically impossible. If those carries are alive, Gnar, You Not Amused will have such a hard time pushing in the waves with the Jinx rockets with that Runans. And then on top of that, you have Ashes. So it's going to be very fascinating to see if Gnar can actually stop this and get some towers here.
Yeah, I mean, also it has a team fight practicality as well, because when you think of Jinx and Ashe, one, the AoE rockets. Araxia will probably not be switching off those rockets in a team fight. He has the attack speed to kind of stay into rocket mode here at this point. But also Ashe. Ashe, another great user of Runins, because those auto attacks are applying a slow every single time, and those are on hit effects. just someone to think about. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does find its way onto Bone Kevin. Bone Kevin trying to position for a good Curse of the Sad Mummy. Has to use it quickly. There it is. Combo with the Pot Blossom. They find 2. This fight pretty even so far. Aliuna screams Unork into the wall. It's a kill for Araxia. Aliuna still alive. In fact, is the last one left alive. Can he turn this fight around? Zombie Smurf with the flash forward, misses the follow-up Q. Aliuna jumps back in. That's a big ol' heal, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, TK. This Briar, when Briar gets her items, she is massive. From low health to almost full health, Briar picks up the ace for out of our Hwei.
3,105 healing received from Sundered Sky, and Briar has bonus healing, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, LaRue.
Yeah, Briar heals based on the bleed. She heals based on her items. And there's no health reduction or there's no healing reduction yet on the side of Gnar Not Amused. And that means she's going to be operating at full strength, which is just nasty work considering this is a Briar with 2 items now, completed the Death's Dance, and is going to be going into a Spirit Visage for even more healing. But this is a very fed Briar, so... It's a bit of a blunder, I think, for Gnar Not Amused to not even invest the 800 gold here. Somebody's got to do it. You have people who certainly can. Unork. I mean, it's an easy investment considering that item eventually builds into some armor pen. You have Nico who can certainly build the Morellos. I know Morello Nomicon, not a great item, never really has been. So we do get an Enchanted Crystal Arrow into Bone Kevin right as he landed a Bandage Toss. Here comes Aliuna again. Is going to be trying to chase down Zombie Smurf. Aliuna might have gone a little bit too deep this time. She did. Unork is going to pick up the kill. Bees Nuts, auto attacks. Can he keep this fight going? It's all 4 members left alive here for Gnar Not Amused, and they will take down 4. I mean, yeah, in that time, it's just Aliuna going too deep, I think. Kind of found the wrong target. And, yeah, I mean, Gnar Not Amused with some rare time to push here, as they're going to actually take down Tier 1. And if I might be mistaken here, TK, that's the first time we've seen both Tier 1s go down today. I might be mistaken on that.
I think you're right.
I'm definitely... I think I'm mistaken on that, but either way... Okay. This is the closest game we've had so far.
That is
I think
true.
Is the ultimate point to be had here.
This
is easily the closest game we've had.
And as we were talking about the healing reduction, to be fair, Amumu did buy Thornmail. I think you need a little more, because with the Briar, it's just such a problem. But also, you have Trundle healing from his passive. You also have Rakan healing with this Q. Eventually, I would assume one of these 80 carries will get lifesteal. So I hope someone, for Gnar Not Amused's sakes, does actually buy another healing reduction item. But at least they have the Amumu with the Thornmail.
Yeah, and that Thornmail, it's a good Thornmail buy, because Thornmail, it sucks in the way that it's subjective, because you need auto attacks to apply said healing reduction. But the people you need to reduce the healing of, yeah, they're all auto attack focused. But the Briar, the Ashe, the Jinx, all kind of, well, although Jinx and Ashe still yet to really get any substantial lifesteal in their kit here, that does at least kind of stop the Briar. But like you said, I want to see at least one more here. And I really want to see it on the Twitch, because I think Twitch would probably be the best buyer of it, because it spreads so easily with the, well, no Runins, but it spreads so easily with just the way Twitch operates. So I think Unork really needs to focus that Executioner's Calling. It's only 800 gold. How many does he have right now? He has 1,000. Yeah. Find a good place to die here. Hopefully you don't die on the back foot here, as we're kind of fighting right in front of the Nexus Towers. But invest that 800 gold and things become substantially easier, because even Trundle heals a little bit with the Sundered Sky. So,
Yeah.
800 gold's worth it, I promise.
I agree.
It's the best healing cut item. Morellos and Thornmail suck. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, again, onto Bone Kevin. Bone Kevin with the ultimate. Needs to use it. He's going to die with that ultimate up. Pop Blossom follows up with 2. Araxia, though, with the kill. And I think this is going to be a fight for out of Hwei. Set of numbers goes down. Petrifying Gaze. Only found a slow. Araxia with the reset. Yeah, just look at them rockets dropping down. He will die, but it is a triple before he does. And Bees Nuts will be more than happy to finish off his work, as he will jump onto these Nexus Towers. And that will be that. That's all she wrote for Gnar Not Amused. Out of our Hwei, somehow stays alive with a second straight win in the losers bracket. They're moving on. It was close until it wasn't.
uh, that's usually
You know,
how
the
ARAM
old
goes sometimes.
the old caster's curse, kind of at the wrong moment. It was close. It was 31 kills, 32, right? Well, unfortunately, I think that last team fight wasn't played the best, and that's just sometimes the way it goes. You lose a fight, you kind of just don't really execute, and things just end. So ultimately, you got to give it up though for out of our way, despite some setbacks. I don't think it was as clean as it could have been, but they're certainly doing a great job here to survive and advance here to the losers bracket.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out what's next. Okay, so first off, Gnar not amused, or excuse me, out of our Hwei advances. They'll be facing the loser of the semifinals, which I do not know who it is because the match results have not been posted. Us. Okay, so check PayPal beat Queefazoids. That means that they're in the finals. So the losers will be Queefazoids versus Out of Our Hwei will be the next match. They kicked me out of the customs. That is a tragedy. Okay, so here's a fun fact for y'all. Let's see if it does it again. Yep. So if you make a custom game, it goes back to the map that you previously played. So I think that's why we got Koshin's Crossing every single time. So I guess I would need to manually go in here and click random. That's really sad. I did not know this. But I mean, I think the results wouldn't change too much. I don't think the maps are that impactful. Anyways, so it will be Queefazoids versus Out of Our Hwei. I need to make a draft for them. These guys are close enough in rank, so they'll each get same amount of champions. There's a draft. Let me notify the teams real quick. The draft has been posted. Did you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Good luck. Hey, just wanted to update you guys. I'm sure you figured this out, but in case you have not, the winner of the match that will be streamed, it will be who you face in the finals. All right. Good luck. Talk to you in a bit. You there, LaRue?
Yes.
Okay. I should probably invite the people, shouldn't I? That would be a good idea. Queefazoids are team 1. I will invite you first, LaRue. You're the most important person here.
I tend to be. Ego moment.
Realistic moment. Unironically, people probably would recognize your voice more than mine. If they watch the streams, because you've casted way more than I have. And you also talk way more, because I'm just sitting here
Yeah,
waiting for a
I'm a
moment to say
yapper by
anything.
trade.
Then... No, I didn't mean
So,
it like that. I'm saying because ARAMs are just all fights.
yeah, yeah. That,
Wow.
that I'm pretty sure because I haven't done a lot of ARAM tournaments, and so ultimately it's just been here because there isn't really a great big competitive scene out there for ARAM. As much as I'd like that to change, I can understand why. But ultimately, ARAM, if we want to pull back the curtain, it's hard to cast.
Yeah.
Because of just the chaotic nature and the fact that we can say, and we've had a competitive ARAM team or two in here. I know that. But ultimately, there's not a lot of strategy to be had. It's not easy. So ultimately, if we did Summoner's Rift, and we do here at the old Tournament Kingdom, like the color commentary would get a lot more time to talk.
Yeah,
But it's
definitely.
just it's just the concept of ARAM that doesn't really lend itself well to casting in a two-man booth.
Mm-hmm. I
But
agree.
but it is what it is.
It is what it is. To be fair, it was the thing that's really fascinating about hosting these tournaments, because I've been doing a decent amount of ARAM tournaments at this point, is that there is a gap between certain teams. And it's so fascinating to see because I think everyone's like, oh, ARAM's just not competitive. It's just you fight, you fight, you fight. You know, it's luck with drafts and stuff. But there's been enough teams consistently winning. Check PayPal, who are still in this, for example. I've always been at least top three in every tournament they've played. And it's just very interesting to me because it's kind of changed my whole perspective on ARAM and competitiveness. Because whenever I first hosted my ARAM tournament, gosh, it was probably like 2, 3 years ago. I just figured, oh, it's just going to be draft diff every time, but it's not because sometimes people get really bad drafts and they still make it work. And I just think it's timing of deaths, and there's a lot of macro that people don't think about.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's just we harp on timing of deaths a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
it is so incredibly important because only in ARAM can you see a team down 15, 20 kills realistically still have a chance to win. Because if you're winning team fights against your own Nexus or against your own tier one all game, yeah, you might have a lot of kills. And theoretically, you should have a gold lead because of it. But if you're a team with no wave clear, if you're a team of 5 AP mages, you're not going to get much done. But if you're killing a Jax or I'm trying to think of some champions here that just kind of beat their head against a wall. Jax or just Aatrox or champions that really can die a quadrillion times but still be okay. Jarvan is notorious for that in ARAM.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you're still going to find yourself losing.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of ARAM because it truly is a random game mode. But there is some strategy to be had when it's all said and done, and you still have to execute like we saw in that last game to tie it back in. And I don't mean to keep harping on Bone Kevin, but you got your ultimate up, your Curse of the Sad Mummy, and you don't use it. Like late game when the cooldowns are down low and whatnot, like you should be using your ult every time, no matter what. There's no time to hold it, but like you still have to execute your champions. And I think a lot of times, and a lot, especially in this tournament so far, what I've noticed, it really hasn't been about grand strategy. It's just been who's better at their champions, I think. Today is just always, it's been more about individual skill than team skill, I think, today.
Mm.
I mean, you
Mike.
may have a different opinion on that, but I don't know.
No, I mean, I agree. The games have been pretty straightforward so far. There hasn't been anything like too crazy strategy wise. The games have been fairly snowbally, as most ARAM games are, but today it feels a bit more snowbally than usual. I keep getting these silly ads on my Twitch stream. Obviously, don't click those links if you see them. I want to point out that now the Queefazoids have matching icons to try and match the bees going on out of our Hwei. So sending a bit of a message. But as we get to the draft, 49 seconds, assuming everyone is ready to go. Random map. Again, so this is important, this match. Whoever loses will be eliminated from the tournament. Whoever wins will make it to the finals, facing Czech PayPal. I once we get into champion select, I'm going to AFK for a minute or two. I'll wait till everyone else is ready. Draft wise, I must say, Queefazoids has an insanely tanky team. Maybe one of the tankiest drafts we've had so far today. But
Yeah.
out of our Hwei, I think has pretty good ways of dealing with tanks. You have the Morgana shield to prevent like really solid engages. You have Gwen, which shreds those tanks. You have Kog'Maw, which can go on hit, which does pretty well in the tanks. You have Darius, which does well in tanks. Hecarim can get some decent healing. I don't know which comp I actually like better between both teams. I think,
Yeah,
man, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
If I'm Queefazoids, I am picking Vayne. I think that's your only guaranteed pick here. And then it's just kind of dealer's choice. I'd like to see a little bit of AP. I would like to see one of Aurelion Sol, Vex, and Anivia, just because it does give you that mage that I think every good ARAM comp kind of needs. But from there, it's kind of dealer's choice on the numerous tanks that they have seemingly rolled here. Of course, Yorick, if you can pilot, if you know how to play Yorick can be very effective. Tom Kench, obviously, very easy to pilot. Leona, very, very easy to pilot. One of the best ARAM champions, I think, just because it is basically just a free engage. If you can drop your Zenith Blade onto just one person, Sejuani's great. Maokai, the ultimate, is mind-bending. Like, Queefazoids has a fantastic pool here, but I think there is one guarantee. I want to see the Vayne, just because it does give you a little bit of DPS, which I think is the only thing this pool doesn't necessarily have, outside of maybe the Aurelia and, to a certain degree, the Briar. Out of our
I'll
way...
be right back. Sorry.
Sure.
The stream will
Out of
still
our
hear
way... Out of our way, I want the Varus, the Caitlyn. They're nice. They're very nice, and I think a lot of people would be wanting to go into that Caitlyn. Just because Caitlyn's easy to execute. Kog'Maw is nice when paired with somebody who can really kind of enable what he does. I fully expect to see Morgana here in this kind of in this game, just because Morgana will be able to prevent a lot of this crazy engage that Queefazoids is probably going to be bringing to the table. Other than that, I mean, Kennen and Fiddlesticks would be great for team fighting purposes. I think that they would be one of those two necessarily. One of those two should be seen in some way, shape, or form. I ultimately think Queefazoids has the better pool, but Out of Our Way certainly has a way to fight back as we do lock in. We can even see the picks here, and it looks like I'm just not on it at all, as Queefazoids going to skip the Vayne, but they are going to pick up that DPS with Aurelia. They'll go with the Vex, Renata Glass, Set, and Galio. So a little bit of tankiness up front. And then meanwhile, Out of Our Way, going with the Darius, the Nautilus, the Kog'Maw, and the Morgana. So there you go. And then going to finish off with the Hwei as well for that straight AP damage. I think we're going to see this Kog'Maw go AD. I definitely think we're not going with the AP variety here. So we'll go ahead and wait down this timer, and we'll get going here. Hopefully TK will be back, and we can get you back on here as we move on.
All right, I have returned. Have you talked at all about the draft, or have you been pretty silent?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I was wrong on a lot of fronts. There's no Vayne for Queefazoids. There's no Vayne. There is no, well, they did pick up the Vex, so certainly there, but they're going to go with the support for Renata Glask, and they're going to go with a couple of tanks up front, Set, and, who is the other one? I don't remember. I'm going to see it here in just about a second, but I'm not bully. I've been using that word a lot lately. I'm not super into Queefazoids draft here. I think they left a lot on the table, and that could be a champ comfort thing. Like, it could be like, oh, well, I play this champion a lot better than this champion. We kind of just need to work around that. But I really wanted to see maybe the Tom or the Maokai, or just one with a big kind of team fight presence. I like Out of Our Ways comp more here ultimately, because Kog'Maw is going to have a field day into some of these big guys, going to have a field day into Set and Galio and Aurelia. Caveat, if they can keep, if Bees Nuts can keep them off of him. If this is a Kog'Maw that goes kind of Blade into Runins, into kind of just into some Armor Pen, yeah, he's going to have a great time here. But it all just depends, as always. But something to note, Araxia for the first time here in this little 3-game run we've seen them, not going to be playing an ADC. So we'll see what he's got here on the Morgana.
Araxia is an ADC main, so that's why they've been playing a lot of ADCs. Also, are you loaded in at all? I'm stuck at 0%.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm still at 0 here, and I even have 0 MS up in the corner. So Although I think that's normal when you're spectating. So hopefully I'm not trapped here in the cold void of loading screen. I'm even gonna reconnect and see what happens.
Yeah, let
But
me know. Oh, I just loaded in. Did you just
well,
disconnect?
then I should. Well, yeah, I'm reconnecting right now, so I should be
Okay,
in a
I
short
will
order.
pause
But
at 10 seconds for you. That took a while. Usually it's pretty instant.
longest loading screen of the day.
Yeah,
Although it's
true.
crazy because it's spectator client, so they should already be playing. So
Yeah.
there's no reason to not connect. But anyway, I'm paused at 10. We're ready to go.
All right. I'll play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
So again, we're back to Koshin's Crossing, and it's a nice little vacation onto Butcher's Bridge. But I think they said it's gonna mostly be Koshin's Crossing, and as a Koshin's Crossing hater, I really just long for the days back when you could just play on Howling Abyss, which is the least seen of the three, I think. But I don't know. It's just, it's a little busy, and I think that ultimately the map changes weren't really that effective. The portals are a nice touch, but I don't know. It is what it is. But we're on to Koshin's Crossing, so despite my complaints, we got to get to it anyway. As Creamy Pie going to go ahead and find himself a 3-man taunt to start with the follow-up route, and Dr. Phil with the big pull. That was a mostly full haymaker thrown out there by Dr. Phil, but still eats a little bit of damage for his trouble, already down to about 50% health. As the minions collide, no deaths just yet.
Will be the on-hit Kog'Maw. No surprise there. Nothing really that spicy. One thing I didn't mention during the loading screen is Darkmark Rises, the Irelia, has over 1 million mastery points on Irelia.
Yeah, so again, that's a champ comfort thing here as we do get first kill for Aliona on the Darius. Is taken down, though, by I Am Anxious. Darkmark Rises will be the next to fall. It's a 3-for-1 so far here for out of our Hwei. Bees Nuts going deep. I think he's going to try to use this passive to kill. And he does.
Wow.
He gets the shutdown onto Vex. That's knowing your champion right there.
That's my favorite champion to play because I die a lot.
Well, it's crazy. Yeah. Great for those of us who like inting, but that's smart knowing that I Am Anxious doesn't have his flash available as well, because that could easily go wrong if you just give yourself up and then I Am Anxious just says, okay, well, I'm just going to flash away. But Bees Nuts does pick up the shutdown, so Tactical Int comes back with the tier 2 boots and the early lifesteal as well. This is almost certainly going to be built into Blade. I would fully expect here, knowing what they're playing into, for Blade the Ruined King to come out here early for the Kog'Maw.
I wonder what Set's building here, because usually I see Set build Heartsteel in ARAM, which in this comp, probably not the best.
You could probably stack on Darius onto Nautilus, but the other three would be pretty tricky. I think, I don't know. I know Set is somebody who likes to go, like you said, Heartsteel into, what's it called? It's the one that gives you a big old shield after you take a bunch of damage.
Sterix Gauge?
I digress. Yeah, Sterix Gauge
Yeah.
into that one item that only Set is allowed to build for some reason. 4-man taunt. That's a big play from Creamy Pie as Dr. Phil pulls everybody back in. It's a clean sweep so far here for Queefazoids. It's 3 kills to none. And they'll take a kill advantage here, 6-5. Into Blood something. The one that gives you more AD depending on how much health you have.
Bloodthorn's Mail or something?
I don't know, but either way, it's really only a Set-only item.
True.
It only synergizes with Set, and usually that's a reason for an item to be removed, but Riot has other plans, I suppose. But either way, Set here, going to be building into something, sitting on 1,500 gold. As most of the kills here early have been given over to I Am Anxious on this Vex.
Side note, Bees Nuts playing the Kog'Maw bee skin. So sticking with that bee theme.
Very
important to call out. Very important to call out.
There's the ultimate used there by I Am Anxious. Only finds Aliuna. Need to find the takedown so that they can get the reset. Still alive is that Darius. Now he'll fall, but did I Am Anxious get the reset? I don't think he did. Bikini Bottom is low. Darkmark Rises, senses blood, jumps in with the Q, picks up the kill. It's a 2 for none.
Irelia's rushing Bork, it looks like, first. Renata just going in the typical support build, I'd assume, as he dives in.
Creamy Pie diving in here, gets the assist from the Renata Glass, but is unable to find the kill needed to stay alive. Bikini Bottom takes down the Vex. I believe that was not a shutdown, despite the 3-1 Vex. Aliuna going under tower to pick up the kill onto Mego. Meanwhile, at the other tower, it is Dr. Phil going deep, but Dark Mark Rises will kill Aliuna in the end here. So fighting on both towers, you don't see that all too often. But it's going to be Stride Breaker here for the set early on. That's where we're going with the first item. Creamy Pie, though, will get your heart steal.
This game could potentially be very frustrating for Darius, because as you saw in that fight, Darius ulted the target that he wanted to kill, but Renata W'd him, which resets the Darius ultimate to full cooldown. So he basically wastes it on that, just from one ability. So if Renata is good at targeting, which she should be, because Darius only has single target focus for the most part, this Darius is just going to have a very frustrating time. Is going to really have to rely on the Kog'Maw and Hwei to finish off the kills.
Tied up 10 kills apiece. Gold-wise, just 300 gold for out of our Hwei. Dark Mark Rises, dives in, used the ultimate, but was CC'd himself, so not able to dive in. Although Creamy Pie does go find himself a 3-man taunt. There's the ult for the Renata Glass. Aliuna turns his attention to Bee's Nuts. That might be someone to watch for later on. Bee's Nuts might do a lot more damage to his own team if they can use that ult properly. We've got a full-scale team fight here. Araxia using the ultimate. How many roots can he truly find? Does find one, but here comes I Am Anxious. The black shield keeps Araxia alive, although I Am Anxious is still able to take down Bee's Nuts. Didn't find quite as much as he wanted. No, the snowball in the end. And Araxia still dies after all of that. I Am Anxious just somehow gets in the back row and is somehow able to find 3 before Aliuna and Bikini Bottom were able to take him down. It felt like I Am Anxious really got away with a lot more than he really should have there. But here comes Dark Mark Rises with the snowball. The second proc will take him down. That's a shutdown for this Aurelia. Jumping onto Bikini Bottom. One more auto attack will do it. Slowed down. Does the tower shots kill him? Yes, sir. Shut down for Beast Nuts. Pulled back in by Dr. Phil. Haymaker only finds the initial damage. No true damage there. Dr. Phil eats a Dark Binding. Here comes Creamy Pie. Wow, they are just really selling out here. But I think we're going to finally stop for a moment, as they just kind of fed some kills to Bees Nuts by a couple of repeated tower dives.
Stride Breaker. Oh, okay, never mind.
Dark Binding onto Mego. Depth Charge, hook onto Creamy Pie. Creamy Pie takes that as a sign to go in. He will fall. Berserker's Graves with that kill on the Hwei. We haven't really talked a whole lot about the Hwei. Aliuna with the dive, goes to the bush, tries to exchange aggro. Dr. Phil using the ultimate on Aliuna. And we continue on. Just long, drawn-out fights here. Double kill for Dr. Phil. Kog'Maw passive takes Dr. Phil low, but not enough to kill. Has to avoid the Morgana W. And will. So we get another reprieve. Almost 40 kills here in 8 minutes. But when we get kill-heavy games like this, it benefits some of these late-game scalers quite a bit, because they're able to get their items very quickly. They're able to fight at full power. Case in point, this Kog'Maw already sitting on that blade, already sitting on that first Zeal item, and has a fully stacked tier as well. So things going pretty well here, despite it all, for out of our Hwei.
He has a slingshot, so clearly he's going Runaan's on Kog'Maw. That will help with the wave clear, and just feels a great overall item to use as Kog'Maw. Rosenheart completed on Bikini Bottom, aka the Nautilus. That will do very well into the Irelia to protect his team. As a hook lands.
It comes down, Dark Mark Rises, walking it out. Here comes Creamy Pie once again. Out of our Hwei, not wanting much of it just yet. Now are going to be forced to fight as Dr. Phil jumps in. However, Dr. Phil becomes the first casualty. Aliuna misses the snowball. Still trying to go deep. Still trying to find a little bit of lifesteal. Turns his attention now to Mego. Pulls it back. Does he have the dunk? Yes, he does. Makes it a double. Makes it a triple. Ooh. Does not get the quadra. No, he actually did get the quadra. Not with the dunk, mind you, but with the follow-up auto attack. And Aliuna's coming up big here. 13 kills on this Darius. He is a problem for Queefazoids to solve.
Araxia did not get executed there. Their timing is going to be slightly off as they're going to try to execute. They did get the first tower, that's big, but they're all going to go for a reset now.
Yeah, it's going to be Dr. Phil picking up the kill onto B's Nuts. I thought for a moment, I had a moment of weakness. I thought that Black Shield was going to keep the intentionally executing B's Nuts alive. Tower damage is not magic damage.
Nope.
Could you imagine?
That would be interesting.
AP champion's already worse than they already are. Aliuna finds himself in the thick of things, trying to walk it out. Can't. Dies. A snowball from Creamy Pie misses. And currently 3 members here at tower. Soon to be 4 for out of our Hwei.
Zonia's almost completed for the Morgana. She does have Seeker's Arm Guard. She's sitting on that. That will feel great for next fight, especially with how they're slightly ahead and they're ready to fight after getting those executions. 2 burn items on the Hwei, assuming, well, I think it's safe to assume that he's going Leandry's next, going the double burn build. That will feel great against the fully health stacking Galio. Look lands onto him. Oh no!
In, there's a big Renata Glass Gulp, but doesn't find B's Nuts, perhaps a priority target. Dr. Phil, though, gonna still try to go in here. Can he find the kill? Big Haymaker, that one was the true damage. And that'll take the Kog'Maw out of the fight, although he is able to trade on back with the passive. Elsewhere, Aliuna able to get onto the back line, doesn't find any kills, but does push I Am Anxious and Megos out of the fight. As he continues to just walk it down, he is not scared at all of this Renata Glass and of this Vex, for good reason. Again, Vex not really with a build that would give pause to a champion like Darius. Although he does have a shield, does have a fear to push him off. Aliuna going in between the towers, able to shake it off. Lots of lifesteal there. Doesn't find the kill on Amego. And he'll eventually die. Trying to give his team time to push that tower. They're able to take a bit 50% off of the tower before having to retreat. Double kill for I Am Anxious. And again, using that passive to find a kill on the Mego.
Mego just accepted her fate, just stood there. She wasn't even going to try to dodge that. 150 gold bounty onto the Vex. That's interesting. Zonia's completed onto the Morgana. Thundered Sky on the Darius, as we have noticed that earlier, just didn't mention it.
Shut down here for Berserker's Graves. Yeah, Aliuna got 1 reset. Can he find another? Almost certainly. No, he actually didn't get the kill onto the Aurelia. Or at least didn't get the execute.
This is really... This was really bad for Queefazoids, because having Darius, the guy that can just shred tanks and heal off of them, having 3 melees, and Renata, who's not very long range either, just getting this bad, the most kills, it's going to be very, very rough. And there's been no healing reduction purchased at all either that I see. Okay, never mind. Yeah, there is a Bramble onto the Galio.
Yeah, but even then, it's Thornmail, and yeah, Darius auto attacks, but like, I don't know. I don't think it's great. Anyway, Renata Glass Ultimate is going to be huge here, and it's going to mostly be a team wipe. Beast Nuts just kind of in the wrong place. Can he find something before he dies? It's going to try to kite out Dr. Phil. Came close. Does Dr. Phil have the Haymaker?
He does.
Yep, and that's going to survive. Or he's going to survive. So, 60-something kills and an inhibitor down. As Queefazoids really, I think, needs to focus less on tower diving here, which is exactly what they try to do onto the Hwei, and more on just kind of taking advantage of the fact they've got the minions to take down a tower. They do. They got to focus on pushing those waves. Berserker's Graves, kill onto Dr. Phil. Here comes Aliuna again, does pop the ghost into the back line. Meanwhile, Dark Mark Rises, jumps in, but is immediately CC'd and killed by Berserker's Graves. Aliuna looking for Creamy Pie, just looking for any kind of reset that he can get. Wasn't able to find it off the Galio. Here comes Berserker's Graves. That forces the flash from I Am Anxious. And it's a 3 for none for out of our Hwei.
Irelia built Hullbreaker. I haven't seen this item built in ARAM in ages. So they buff super minions, and you deal damage with every 5th attack. And he has a little bit of attack speed with his Bork. Interesting.
Well, then that means you definitely have to be focusing on clearing the waves because you're not getting use out of it if you're not attacking structures. I mean, obviously you do get the 5th attack against champions and all that, but very awkward item to build here, I think, considering the kind of game state you find yourself in. So, either way, it is interesting. I mean, it does give some stats that Aurelia does want. But she is going to be building next into a Tiamat item. We'll see if that's going to be Ravenous or if whether that's going to be the other one. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't need to elaborate. Let's just go ahead and go into another team fight, shall we? There is the Renata Glass Goldsmith. Does find the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw going to go berserk. Bees Nuts is actually going to be one of the first to fall in this fight. Aliuna finds the kill on the Dark Mark Rises. Does he have the resets? Yes, he does. Trying to get onto somebody here. I think Creamy Pie is going to be the next one to get dunked. He is. It's a Quadra. Penta's on the board. I Am Anxious is running the wrong way. If they can catch up, it's going to be the Penta. No, Aliuna, big team player. He's going to walk away. He's going to let Bikini Bottom just try to solo this one out while they just go ahead and clear some waves. That is an unselfish player because that, I think, is an easy Penta if, well, you just follow Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to go for the end here. They're just trying to stall. And even if they kill I Am Anxious, his death timer is going to be way too long.
I Am Anxious ate every single hook there. That's just good aiming there from Bikini Bottom. Shut down for Dark Mark Rises, and he'll make it a double as he gets on to Aliuna.
Ooh, and Knight's Vow completed on the Nautilus. I assume he put that on the Kog'Maw. I don't... Wait, who... He put it on the Darius, I think.
Yeah, I honestly, with the way things have gone, this Darius has been dropping a lot of damage.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that there's definitely an argument to be made that you just kind of let the Kog'Maw kind of do their own thing, or you let Morgana kind of babysit Bees Nuts, and you just kind of let Aliuna be the big bruisery man that he was already meant to be in this kind of matchup. So you have ways to protect your carries, and that's kind of what's been working out so far for out of our Hwei. They've kind of been able to divvy up the protecting duties. Not all their eggs have been placed into one basket.
Titanic Hydra completed on the Irelia. That will help with the wave clear. And also has the Hullbreaker, as we mentioned, which buffs ally minions. So maybe he's just trying to keep the waves pushed in, buff his own allies, and use that to, get more of an advantage towards pushing the towers. But I mean, with the Kog'Maw, with Runans, it's so tough to push. And also, 2 healing reduction items completed on the mages on the side of Out of Our Hwei. Hwei, of course, on Out of Our Hwei has Morella, or what's it called? Oblivion Orb, and also Morgana. So that's going to deal a lot of healing reduction towards the Irelia. And in some sense, I don't know exactly how much Renata W heals if you get a kill, because you get some health back, I believe. But no other lifesteal, so they're just building it to counter the Irelia. They are very scared of this Irelia.
Yeah, Aurelia, another champion again, kind of in that subset of champions that it doesn't matter how much she dies early. Items are where she finds her strength, and she's got 3 of them here. She does finish the Titanic Hydra. That's what we were looking for earlier. And so Aurelia gets a little bit stronger by the minute. Although, again, out of our Hwei's credit, they've really had this Aurelia played well. Dark Mark Rises hasn't really been able to wreak much havoc. Can find a kill or 2, but as you can tell by the 9 kills, 10 deaths, they're usually pretty quick about shutting her down. And still, she's not been able to answer much in the way of taking down this Darius. She's been mostly able to take down kind of that Kog'Maw, that Morgana.
It looks like Darius... Oh my, that's some damage. Darius will be building Spirit Visage next. That will increase his healing, which will be fantastic.
Araxia with the Black Shield protected against the Aurelia stun. Snowball down onto Aliuna. Here comes Creamy Pie. One-man taunt. Follows up with the knockup. They're going to focus their efforts onto the Darius. There is the entrance from Dr. Phil. A lot of damage dropped down onto Bees Nuts. That's the best you could hope for to start this fight. Dr. Phil with the kill. I Am Anxious follows up to make it 2. There is the Zhonya's used by Araxia. Make it a 3-for-1 as the first to fall on the other side. That's Mego. Aliuna, though, still in the backline. Still wreaking havoc. Resets, maybe. trying to find one here. Dr. Phil, Haymaker, no, not enough to keep him alive. Triple kill for Aliuna. Darkmark rises. They're on the other side. Eventually, they're going to have to try to re-engage. There's a nice fear from I Am Anxious. Darkmark, I think this is your time to go, buddy. Gotta jump back in here. Gotta drop the auto attacks. There's the Sterix Gauge shield from Aliuna. The dunk, a little bit too early. It's an ace here for Queefazoids as I Am Anxious, nice fear there. That was a great grand entrance from Dr. Phil. No, excuse me, showstopper from Dr. Phil to really set off that fight. And that's kind of the problem with having a fed Darius. He's got a lot of health, and he's a prime target for that set ultimate. Darkmark rises, goes in and dies. Bees nuts with the auto attacks. Is going to be able to find himself a double. And that'll be the end of I Am Anxious and Darkmark rises for now. But again, the showstopper, I think you're basically wanting to use it on Aliuna every time, if you could swing it. If you can drop it onto the Kog'Maw or onto the Morgana, or even onto the Hwei, you're going to deal some serious damage right off the bat.
4v3 in favor of out of our Hwei. I would assume they're going to look to fight here. Snowball is on Darius. I'm going to be very curious if he's actually going to do it as the hook lands. Black shielded on the Darius.
Dr. Phil. Yeah, you're right. Black shield on the Darius, damaging the inhibitor. Should go down. And it will. Just going to be given up here by Queefazoids. Minions coming up from behind. But not enough to realistically make a push here. Longest ARAM game of the day, believe it or not. First to reach 20 minutes.
That's true.
And I don't think we've really decided anything here. We've seen Queefazoids really hold their own despite losing that inhibitor early. And if you're able to find a fight like the last one, with the minions in a good spot, certainly have to make sure that those minions are pushed in your favor. Going to be easier said than done with the super minions. But you might be able to even this one out. Push that tier 2, push that inhibitor, and just like that, you're back to even. At least objectives-wise, gold-wide, we are very much even. Just 800 gold between the two teams.
Overlord's, what's it called? Overlord's Bloodmail? Yeah, completed.
Yeah, there you go. Overlord's Bloodmail. There's the set item.
He got it. He has the thing.
Depth charge onto Dr. Phil. Has to be looking for the proper showstopper here. Pulls in Aliuna, still waiting, still chasing Aliuna down, but here comes Darkmark Rises. Doesn't need to find the Kog'Maw because he's already gone. Here comes I Am Anxious from the backside. Found the resets. Is able to take down the Hwei. Araxia gonna go golden here. Aliuna with the dunk on the Dr. Phil follows up with the showstopper, but I think Aliuna's gonna win this fight. And just like last time, we've got two people on the wrong sides of the map. But this time, though, Aliuna is full health, and this time they're unable to stop the Darius. And it's an ace here for out of our Hwei. And I think...
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that time Dr. Phil was a little bit guilty of looking for the poggers play that time. Kind of chased down Aliuna instead of really focusing on getting into the fight. And I don't know if this one's done yet, but the most important members of the team are still on long death timers here. Aliuna is just going to kind of ignore these two. They can't really do much to the old Darius here. They can fear him. Here comes Dr. Phil, and that's one of those members I'm talking about.
Oh my.
Yeah, but that's a 25 kill Darius. Them dunks be hurting. Gonna try to do some damage to Mego, but he'll finally be shut down. Open Nexus Beast, now it's just kind of inting for the cause.
I don't know.
Go I
don't have analysis on that one, unfortunately.
Go reset with the team, I guess.
Maybe.
As you see the rest of out of our Hwei just kind of camping at their tier 2 tower.
Yeah, honestly, dying there unironically is not that bad because you can just regroup with your team as you stated and maybe thought, hey, just one more team fight. If I'm with my team, with the Darius, we'll be okay.
100 kills. First of the day to reach that particular milestone. Our first also to reach again past 20 minutes, past 23 minutes. So, this one's certainly a knockdown, drag-out fight. As it looks like, judging by the pings here, TK, they might be waiting for this Darius to get his ghost back before they really try to jump in there.
Yeah, that's a good call out. And the ghost timer is similar to Kog'Maw's ghost timer as well. So they'll both have ghost up for the next fight. The exhaust is soon to be up on Hwei. I will be curious if they will just wait for the 2 exhausts on the mages and the flash on Araxia, because they do have ghosts now. I mean, that
It
would
really
be
look,
the right decision, I think. Oh,
it
we're
really
not a
looks like we're
glass.
just waiting for.
We're,
Yeah, we're just waiting for. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say
sorry.
we're waiting for summoners really on both sides because
Yeah.
even Queefazoids are pinging their summoners here. So
Hmm.
we're gonna get a full 10 summoner fight here, and I think this one. I mean, obviously, this one could be for the game. If you're Queefazoids, you can't let this team push back into your Nexus. There goes the hook on a Dr. Phil. Remember, it is open Nexus. Fear onto Araxia, forces the flash away from the Morgana. So there's your first of 10 summoners. And here we go. Dr. Phil gonna push Creamy Pie on in. Haymaker thrown out. Does land a lot of damage on the Bikini Bottom, but no kills. Big Renata Glass ult there. Did find its way onto Bees Nuts. Bees Nuts, though, still with the triple kill. And he's gonna be allowed to free fire. Aliona still alive. Does he have the reset? No, he did lose that in the fight. It's not gonna matter. The 2 carries of the team are the last alive, and this Renata Glass unable to do anything about it. 3 straight wins in the losers bracket, 4 out of our way, and they're moving on.
That was definitely for sure the most intense ARAM game we've had today. That's probably one of the more intense ARAM games we've had in a while in the tournament, it feels like, to be honest. That was anyone's game. But now we are to the finals. Check PayPal versus the winners of this match out of our Hwei. I think this will be the first time they face each other in this tournament. I don't know if it's been ever. I'm sure they've probably faced each other at some point. All right, I will start setting up the game now, might as well. Just as a reminder, there's no special bonuses for extra champions in finals, just to make it a little bit more fair. So statistically, Check PayPal should get 15 champions, Outright should get 20. But the problem is in finals, I established this rule just because it would be kind of lame to, have it be draft diffed 100% in the finals. Everyone's going to get 15 champions no matter what. So these people will really need to prove themselves on both sides. And I'll explain the finals rules in a minute, but I want to make sure I set up the draft first. Let me notify the teams real quick. Hello, draft has been made. Congrats on the win. The draft has been made. And just to, yeah, all right. Good luck. All right, I was going to explain to them the final rules of this. I will pull up this while I am explaining how finals work. So in the brackets, you'll notice Check PayPal has yet to lose a match. Out of our Hwei has now won the losers bracket. So here's how it works. If out of our Hwei, let me do a different color. Let me do green. If out of our Hwei wins, they win, then they go to this round, right? And what happens is they will switch drafts. So as you can see, out of our Hwei has this draft right here. But if out of our Hwei wins, then they actually switch drafts, and out of our Hwei gets Check PayPal's draft, and Check PayPal gets out of our Hwei's draft. If Check PayPal wins the first match, then the tournament's over, and Check PayPal are victorious. So right now, we will focus on this draft, but we might be readdressing this draft if out of our Hwei wins. So let's start with out of our Hwei's comp first, because they have more on their shoulders, more pressure. Actually, before I do that, I will leave this on the side, and I will invite Check PayPal, even though I'm sure they're busy talking about draft.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go ahead and start here because looking over out of our Hwei, what I notice is again good ADC presence. You've got the Ashe, you've got the Kog'Maw, which are always nice to see. I think those are 2 very good ARAM ADCs. Although I will say Kog'Maw is significantly nerfed compared to Ashe. So is one of those things where if you're proficient on it, and if you have the backup, that's great and all. There is also a Lucian available as well, but I'm not bully on Lucian. I'm not so sold on Lucian just because you need a lot to be good on Lucian. You have to be good at the champion, first of all, and then things kind of have to go your way. It's one of those champs where things can go bad very, very quickly. As far as tanks are concerned, Nautilus, again, we saw the Nautilus used a pretty solid effect here a couple games in this tournament. The Taric, however you want to say it, Tarek is an interesting choice. Not a lot of people want to play it. It's one of those champs that's kind of just you have to be an unselfish player to play it. But the ultimate is obviously game changing, fight changing. If you can get a good one off, if you can get all 5 members into your invulnerability, that's like a solid second or two where basically you are unable to lose. So Tarek is definitely a champion that could be a wild card here in this draft. Volibear, of course, is in there as well, and I think that's really it, really, for your tanks. Not really a tank-heavy draft here for Out of Our Way. Miscellaneous, I mean, there are some fun picks here if they want to go that way. Vex is there. We've seen Vex a couple times today with some mixed results. Evelyn is there. Evelyn, you would think, is not a good ARAM champion, but that stealth really does kind of help. And she also has a very good burst kit that's relatively safe as well. The ultimate is a pretty good get in, get out kind of tool. Anivia for wave clear. Cassiopeia, who has been kind of somebody we've mentioned several times here today. And then Rumble. I mean, we haven't even talked about Rumble. I think Rumble is a champion that if you can swing it, you need to pick it because the equalizer can cover an entire lane and just kind of change kind of the map, so to speak, can kind of wall people off. They have a good zone control kind of comp here. Out of Our Way does. And then, of course, I got to give a shout out to my boy Bard because AP Bard is very, very underappreciated. I think in the grand scheme of things, massive buffs for Bard on ARAM if you weren't already aware. So it's an interesting comp. It's an interesting draft, but I think the only guarantees are you're going to see one of the two or one of the three between Ash, Kog'Maw, and Lucian. I think you're going to see the Rumble, and I think you're going to see one of Nautilus or Taric, if not both. But it is certainly an interesting draft here for Out of Our Way. And if you wanted me to go to the other team,
Sure.
which I'll go ahead and do that now while you set things up. I mean,
I'm good to go.
All right. I'll just go ahead and keep it going here. ADC wise, because every good comp needs an ADC. I mean, check PayPal. I think's been the team complaining about no ADCs today.
Yeah, so, literally, I'm not joking. Xylena, who's on Check PayPal, just messaged me and said, "Wow, you gave us an ADC," and I just responded, "Shoot, I'm going to remake the draft."
They've got two. They've got Corki. They've got Misfortune.
Yeah, they can't complain now.
I like Misfortune more than Corki because Misfortune is very easy and has that kind of game-changing ultimate. Mm-hmm. Especially, there's a big combo there that I am very big into. The Misfortune and the Rel. If you can play Rel, or if you can play Leona, I want to see them combo those two champions together. Because anything that can keep champions in for a full bullet time are nuts. And Rel is one of the best because of just how her ultimate functions. It's very hard to escape without flash, without a dash available. And there's not a lot of dashes on the side of Out of Our Way. So Rel, I think, would actually function pretty well here, even without the Misfortune. But I feel like that's a 1-2 combo that you can't really ignore. Of course, you got some fan favorites. You've got the Morgana. We've seen that several times here today. Lissandra is an ARAM fan favorite. Ahri, I'm not huge into. I think Ahri is definitely a victim of ARAM just kind of not being her game mode because it takes away a lot of what makes Ahri great. Annie is certainly a champion that can combo well with the potential huge CC and the easy to apply CC as well. If you want to go with the Q as opposed to maybe kind of using your ult or your W to stun. And then they got a couple great utility picks, Alistar, Tom Kench. Of course, you got to talk about Zillion, although with Koshin's Crossing being what it is, Zillion has 0 kill pressure as long as the Abombed can get to a portal. So draft-wise, I like Out of Our Ways more, but it's not a huge difference because I think Check PayPal certainly has some big options themselves here, or some great options that we really haven't seen today. Of course, we'll see if they actually go with those selections because today has been kind of about the same 20 champions or so. But yeah, I'm curious to see where Check PayPal goes.
I mean, the beauty of this situation is based off of how the tournament format works, is Check PayPal needs to lose 2 games. So if Check PayPal loses, guess what? They get to play their opponent's draft and can do, if it really is draft if, they'll get the draft advantage. But I mean, yeah, I think I like Out of Our Hwei's combo more. I think they just have things that can synergize very well. I'd be very curious if they do like a Milio Lucian Bard thing, because Milio guaranteeing that extra attack range for the Bard as well as the Lucian, I think would feel pretty good. Or maybe even the Kog'Maw. But then again, you do need a really solid front line, which Out of Our Hwei doesn't really have the best front line. You did mention Tarek. I think Tarek would actually do quite well into the opposing comp, assuming they pick a very frontline heavy comp. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Out of Our
Yeah.
Hwei definitely has a better draft.
I think if Tarek can ult and can ult at the right time, it's crazy what you can negate. Because say you ult, you predict the rel jumping in, it'll go off before that bullet time really can do a lot. And that's, I'm not assuming, of course, that's just all assuming that the rel of misfortune combo comes through, but you can negate a lot. It's just a matter of how many people actively play Tarek and are willing to do so. And of course, here in a championship setting, you might have to take one for the team. So, I love drafts like this. I love drafts where the answer isn't immediately clear. Like I said, you still have that Ashe on the board. Ashe is just, it's easy engage in a comp that maybe lacks a lot of engage elsewhere. I mean, you could go with the Nautilus to kind of circumvent that, because with the hook and the depth charge, you have a lot of easy ways to get on top. The equalizer for Rumble. So maybe there is a little bit of engage there. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to answer here, and that's what makes me excited about all this. So I'm keeping myself blind. I don't know what they're locking in, but I do like that you mentioned the Milio, because I think Milio is an underappreciated champion. I think Milio didn't really have the most I know we're talking about maybe a year or two ago, but like, I don't think Milio really had the most explosive kind of release patch. I think a lot of people didn't really take to him that quickly. And so you don't really hear him talked about a lot. But then you see him in action and you're like, wow. that's that's certainly a champion that does a lot. I mean, has a cleanse on the ultimate and just has a lot of general healing, and healing being cut in ARAM, the fact that he can still heal as much as he does is kind of exciting. So who knows if we'll see it. There's the lock-in sound, so we can check it out. Yeah, no Milio, but we do see a few of the things that we expected to see. We do see the Ashe. We do see the Misfortune Rel, proving that I do sometimes know what I'm talking about. And of course, we do see fan favorite Morgana here as well. So mostly what we, I think, maybe expected. No real wild cards here, but should make for a good game here, because I think both teams are at full 100% strength. I don't think either team can really complain about getting a bad comp here in this game.
Tarek, I think, will do quite well into this comp. The Morgana will definitely counter the Tarek, but the beauty of Tarek's stun, assuming this Tarek is comfortable on him, is you can use his stun on someone else using his W that you're attached to. And you have some great options. You have the Nautilus, you have the Yone that will go deep into the back line, and then Rel is one of those champions that I think Tarek absolutely hard counters, just due to the fact that Tarek can out-sustain the engages that Rel does. They do have some good wombo combo on the side of Check PayPal, though. You have the Rel engage, you have Misfortune, you have the Echo W to follow that up, and then Corki can just unload his Q and his E to follow that as well. So the Tarek will really need to be on point with his ultimates, because if Tarek gets a good ult, he can mitigate all of the damage from the Misfortune combo. So I think a lot of this will be on the Nautilus Tarek on the side of Out of Our Hwei. And on Check PayPal, I think it will definitely be on the Morgana shields, as well as Misfortune timing her ultimates at the correct time. But we shall see. 8 seconds.
I think timing is the name of the game here in this one, because this Kog'Maw Ashe, there's not a lot to be scared of here on the other side, because, I mean, yeah, the Echo and the Rel will be gunning for him, but there's not a lot other than that. So if you're an engage champ, you're gonna have to time things correctly. This Tark, like you said, gonna have to be on point with his ultimate castings. And yeah, we're going to Koshin's Crossing, so of course we are. Maybe someday we'll stop this, but Yeah, I mean, who's got it? Again, finals. Lay it all on the line. You don't know if you're getting 1 or 2 games, so
I paused at
might as
10.
well. Oh, I forgot to pause. I got it. Hold on, I'll go back to you. All right, I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, so let's get to it. And again, I'm just excited to see if Xylena and Nut Juice can pull off the old 1-2 combo, because it is exciting to see a full damage bullet time come through. And Rel's one of the few support champions who can really make that happen.
What's that? Okay, Tarek binds to the Nautilus, bikini bottom.
Yes, going to line up that stun and perhaps help his fellow frontliner drop a stun or two. Nothing crazy here, of course. Normally you're talking about your fellow carry, your fellow ADC, but in an ARAM situation, definitely nothing wrong with helping out your the second engage. Especially because it makes it a very potent combo. You hook, you auto, Tarek stun comes through. That's a lot of CC early on.
Interesting. The Kog'Maw went tier, but is still going an on-hit build.
We saw that in the last game as well, for note. So probably going to go into that tier item at some point. Kog'Maw doesn't really need to rush that tier item. He's going to probably go into Blade first and then maybe into Runaan's or whatever he chooses from there. But it is still nice to have on Kog'Maw because Kog'Maw is still mana hungry. That E, that Q, that W, the mana costs are still pretty high for an ADC.
Yeah.
So
Especially
tier
the ult.
certainly, yeah, especially the ult. So tier certainly something that'll help out Bees Nuts here early on. Xylena in some trouble early. Could be first blood, and it is. Going over to Bees Nuts. And a pretty anticlimactic first kill here as Xylena sent back to base. Low-key parkour, though. Gonna follow that up, although make it a double for low-key parkour. As he'll jump on to Berserker's Graves. Both frontliners sent back to base.
Pretty interesting.
Lots of tears
pacing.
coming out.
Yeah, pretty interesting pacing on this game so far. Not as aggressive as others. Feels very slow, and it feels like every time someone's died, there hasn't been much that happened after. I don't know. Everyone must be just trying to scale and wait for that level 6 engages, it would appear.
Yeah, level 6 is going to be explosive with these two comps. Again, we've mentioned Bullet Time. We've mentioned Rel's ult. The rockets for Corki. Exciting, not game-changing, but definitely nice if you're Furbo. And then, of course, low-key parkour definitely gets a lot of safety and the ability to kind of go into fights that he wouldn't necessarily want to go into. And meanwhile, again, lots of great level 6s over on the other side, too, with Tarek's Invulnerability and Depth Charge and the whatnot. And Yone also has a nice level 6. So Ultimate's going to be super important, but we're going to fight at level 5. Teams trying to get that level 6 advantage, I believe, just sheer the power of kills. Xylena jumps onto Bees Nuts. Bees Nuts going to have that passive proc, going to chase onto Nut Juice. Nut Juice actually going to die beforehand, though, so he'll just settle for damage onto Xylena and Coilin. Xylena back in, gets the kill onto Bikini Bottom. Xylena taken down by the Tarek. Support's picking up a lot of kills here early in the game, but here comes Furbo. Furbo finds himself a kill. Low-key parkour makes it 3. Has the completed Lich Bane as he comes on back. That's going to give him an edge here in a game where most people don't have their first items yet. He forgoes boots and picks up that early Lich Bane. Going to use that Chrono Break to jump back to the bush, gain a little bit of health back. Bees Nuts kept still. It allows Furbo to pick up the kill. Furbo going to give himself up. Going to give over the kill to Bikini Bottom. Smart choice there. Here comes Aliuna, though. Uses the ult, gets the kill, snaps on back. This is a long fight here, TK, as Aliuna continues the fight. He's got Berserker's Greaves and Bikini Bottom to help him out a little bit. Aliuna dashing forward, still looking deep off my spectator camera. My spectator camera thinks Bikini Bottom just beating down Xylena is a little more important, but Aliuna certainly not afraid. But eventually he'll meet his demise here at the hands of Furbo. Double kill. Fight continuing on, making a triple for Furbo. Can he make it 4? Big one misses onto Bees Nuts. Bees Nuts takes the portal away, but Berserker's Grave still finds himself in an odd situation. That'll be the Quadra. Furbo, he's got a chance at the Penta, but he doesn't have any mana left. And so we're just going to have to settle for the Quadra. How's that for a fight?
That's Been a long one. 250 gold bounty, 616 on the Corki, has Collector, so all of those kills that he's received will also give him bonus gold as well. So he is feeling very good so far this game.
Low-key parkour, another kill. Looks like he might be building in, well, not, I won't say anything just yet, but he comes back with the large rod. Bullet time, finds a full load onto Bikini Bottom, but again, that's a Nautilus. That's still a pretty tanky boy. He's able to tank it all, although Berserker's Graves does go down. 24 kills in 5 minutes.
Agma will use passive to try and clear the wave. Overall, nothing too interesting. I do think Collector Corki is good, but I don't think that's the most common item. Lichbane built on Echo. We've been seeing that a lot today. Was low-key Parkour the guy that played Echo that we watched? Or was that someone else? I think that was someone else, right?
What? Sorry.
Never mind. It's all good.
If you're asking if we've seen Corki, we haven't today.
No, I was asking who played Echo in the game we spectated.
Who was it? I don't know. We've been with Out of Our Way for 4 games now. It feels like that's probably a good bet.
Yeah.
Was it Berserker's Graves?
Maybe?
I think it might have been Berserker's Graves who played the Echo.
Well, regardless,
in fact,
Lichbane
we've got a lull in the action.
Yeah.
Why don't we go look for it?
Oh, no, it's okay, because it's going to break out in a millisecond, I guarantee you.
Well,
it's not worth it.
Yeah, I can hear it in the background. I can't find it in all the rooms that we have here.
All right, don't worry about it.
No, I'm going to find it.
No. No!
ARAM matchups, I found it. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, it was Berserker's Graves.
Wow, good
memory. And he went 12 and 5. He went 12 and 5 and did the most damage in the game on that. So getting a little bit of a taste of his own medicine here. It's already a 7-kill Echo and 6 kills onto Furbo. So despite us talking, or me, I guess it's me, who talked a lot about the misfortune so far, it's been that Corki who's kind of been the star of the show here, dropping them rockets down and looking stylish while doing it as well. So with that astronaut skin. So
I would assume MF is going lethality builds here based off of the Caulfield's Hammer.
Low-key parkour going in deep, stunned up, but still finds the chrono break just in time.
Great Taracle.
There is the bullet time, but the Taracle, yeah, like you said, can just tank all of that damage. But do they even still win the fight off of that? They mitigate the damage, but it's still check PayPal coming in with the win here. It's a 5 for 3, or excuse me, a 3 for none. As yeah, I mean, you can't complain about what Berserker's Graves did there, but unfortunately, check PayPal is strong in other ways. As well, Aliuna gets on top of Nutjuice, trying to find the kill, uses the ultimate, and secures the kill. On to Coilan now. He'll find the kill there as well. Not a double, as it was actually, Beast Nuts who was able to kill previously. But Furbo again is on the prowl, finds a double before he's taken down here by Araxia. Araxia slows him down and takes down Xylena for the ace. It's a triple kill for the Ashe. 6 kills for Araxia.
Araxia always on her comfort picks of the AD carries, minus that one more game. That was an unusual circumstance, but playing all the AD carries quite well so far in this tournament. As we see Warmog's first item onto the Xylena, the Rel. Interesting. So going to have to... I guess she just thought that the poke was a little too much, so it's a good item, good purchase. You're almost completed on her as well. Overall, nothing too crazy. Axiom Arc first on MF. That's interesting to me because in order to fully maximize the ultimate cooldown reduction, you need lethality. And he only has 18% ultimate cooldown reduction if he gets a kill. Or someone dies within 3 seconds. So interesting first item here, but obviously Check PayPal is one of the best teams in the server. I'm not going to question it. Infinity Edge, that's going to feel great onto the Corki. Rabadon's onto the Echo. Ashe Out finally comes out.
Arrow, but it's an immediate chrono break here from low-key parkour. Yeah, he's going to drop the emote. Wasn't the best of engages here for Out of Our Hwei. A short-range arrow onto a target who can just kind of ult away all the damage. Not ideal, and that's a big cooldown for Araxia and Out of Our Hwei. Kind of extended siege here on this tier 2 tower. As Chick PayPal just kind of exerts their will here a little bit. And I think right now, well, I say that as the hook comes out onto Nut Juice. That's one of your targets. But Bikini Bottom's just not very tanky yet. Only sitting, actually has no completed items. Nut Juice a kill onto Berserker's Greaves. It's a tower dive, trying to get onto Beast Nut. Xylena pulls him back in. There is the bullet time, just out of range. And Beast Nut's in a fight. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and take Xylena down just a little bit too deep that time. Beast Nut's able to find the kill on the Furbo. Gets killed into the passive Nut Juice. Nowhere to go. It's an after-death quadra for Beast Nuts.
I think
that does leave... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that was the right call for the Kog'Maw, because he knew he had his passive. And now Koilin is going to go down, and that's a full reset, essentially, for Check PayPal. But maybe, potentially, out of our Hwei could actually make a push here, and hopefully get a tower for their sake.
Yeah, I'm going to have to push against an Echo and against a Rel here. Furbo, though, joining in here momentarily, and that's going to be most of your wave clear. Well, actually, I say that as the Echo Q just clears the whole wave. What's it called nowadays? What's the Q? It is the Time Winder.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the passive that's called the Z Drive Resonance or whatever. I didn't watch Arcane. I don't know what I'm talking about. But Hook coming down onto low-key parkour. He'll dash away. Stun comes down on the Xylena onto Koilin. Xylena with the counter engage. Low-key parkour going in deep. Has the Chrono Break. Already going to use it here. There is the Dark Binding used onto Bikini Bottom. Follow-up bullet time does a little bit of damage to Bikini Bottom, but he'll have to finish it off with the auto attacks. It's 4 kills to none. And Check PayPal just continues to kind of roll. They've got the minions pushing up the wave, and only Aliuna set to defend. And Yone is a champion that can definitely make some big plays. I don't think he's going to be able to do much here. I think he's got no choice but to retreat and just kind of let...
Retreat back to the base is what you were trying to say.
Retreat back to the base, and he'll be back in 25 seconds. And Beast Nuts will also kind of int it here on the portal as well. Things going very south here real quickly for out of our Hwei, and Check PayPal. At the moment, looks like they'll be rolling here to a championship.
I must say, I like the Morgana build. The Blackfire Torch has that nice burn combo with the pool, but also the Rylai's. The Rylai's works really well because that gives you a little bit of extra CC with the Misfortune ultimate, so you can have them stick in it a little longer. So I like the itemization there. Honestly, I really love all the itemization by Check PayPal here. Also, Taric completed his Fimbulwinter. That's going to feel great. I think Nautilus is working on his Fimbulwinter next because he has Giant's Belt as the fight breaks out. There goes the Yone ult and the Taric ult.
Yeah, Ultimate's going to be used here, but it looks like a win so far for out of our Hwei. In fact, Xylena finds himself all alone very, very quickly. The knockup is there, the follow-up damage. Trying to find the Taric stun, didn't get it, but doesn't matter. Aliuna still got the knockup in his kit, and he'll find himself a triple. That's a good fight back here, although no minions. And that is the scourge of many an ARAM team. They're going to go ahead and try to tank this as much as possible.
Taric.
And heck, they're doing a lot more damage than I thought they would, as Taric's just able to kind of take blow for blow here. And hey, wouldn't you know it, they find the tower. Well, there you go. That's just kind of knowing your own comp, I guess. As I thought they were pretty much dead to rights, but hey, anything to get a tower here. And they're still relatively healthy for this upcoming fight here as well. Big bullet time. There you go. Finally able to just burn right on through Bikini Bottom. Low-key parkour on top of Araxia. Araxia just going to give himself up. The remaining members of the team already retreating. Retreating with full health bars. Not a bad idea. But yeah, that's a good play from out of our Hwei there to take that first tower.
Zeke's Convergence onto the Rel. Okay, that will be good for the... Yeah, they're just building... It would appear they're building items just for the combo. Because this gives you where you're casting your ultimate. It basically does damage around you, which feels great, because with the Rel ultimate is basically just that. Locks him in place. Wow, what an engage by Echo.
Yeah, that's a nice parallel convergence here. There's the ultimate I was talking about. Yeah, just look at that bullet time shred. Nut Juice on a killing spree onto Berserker's Greaves. Well, not all 5. How about all 4 of the members of Check PayPal alive on the Nexus Towers? And Bikini Bottom, the last man left to try to hold them off. Xylena with the flash forward. They want the clean ace. They have got it. And that'll do it in 15 minutes. Check PayPal. They come in, they dominate through the winner's bracket, and they pick up this ARAM championship.
Czech PayPal remaining dominant in the Tournament Kingdom's history that is being made. That will put them. I don't know. That might. I think they'll be just below rank 1 at this point. Let's see. We can check this after I update. Here it is. Let's see. Nope. They'll be just behind first place, Amateurs. But what a well played game by Czech PayPal. Of course, very good team. Very good showing by Out of Our Hwei. I believe this was their best placement in the history of their competition. And we'll try to get a winner's interview with Czech PayPal. Usually we have Erebus, their captain, for this, but right now Erebus is unfortunately not here with us. I'm going to hop in their voice chat and see if anyone's up for an interview. I'll be back in a minute. Well, you'll hear me, but you won't hear them. Hello. Hi. Would any of you be up for an interview, winner's interview? I think the person that complained about the ADCs the most should do it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Is anyone new? I'm not going to force you. All right, the legend. Anyone want to join him, or is he soloing this? Okay. All right. All right, LaRue, feel free to ask any questions because I have no idea what I'm going to ask. Chat, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask as well. Nut Juice, the champion,
Hey,
I guess since Erebus isn't here, the captain of Czech PayPal.
no, I was forced to play.
You were okay. I need to
Maybe
know
Spartan
what is
or
this story?
Xylena.
Why were you forced to play? Xylena forced you to play?
Yeah, I posted that the tournament was on, and I guess people assumed I was playing, and then I had to play.
So,
Honestly, yeah, I'm a little hungover
oh,
too, so I'm ready to take a nap after this.
what? You aren't gonna pop a few bottles and celebrate after winning the tournament?
Oh, I am. Then I'm gonna nap after.
All right. Okay. Well, this was the first tournament that we've ever had with the draft changes, and you guys were put at a disadvantage. Clearly, it wasn't that big of a disadvantage because otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here interviewing us, or me interviewing you. But was there ever a moment where you're like, oh, wow, this might be a draft gift? Or were you guys pretty calm? I know Xylena was quite vocal about not getting ADCs. Were you in the same boat as her?
Um, Sort of. I think we're a pretty aggressive team in general, so we usually just play engaged champs anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I think not having ADC wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay. How many champion? Okay, I feel like this might be kind of a risky question to ask. How many champions do you think would a team need to beat Czech PayPal, or is it just you guys doesn't matter how many champions they get?
Um, Honestly, we didn't even have Airbus today, and we still won. So they just might need like unlimited. Pick whatever they want.
All right, I'll update it. I'll give everyone unlimited. You
Yeah,
guys
we
get
we
five
didn't
champions.
we didn't have Airbus or Kelly Love, so that's basically our two main people too. So
Hmm.
if they can't beat us, there's no way they're gonna beat the main team.
Wow. Okay. I'll let ARAM amateurs and win traders know you said that. Um,
Oh shit. Okay.
what would you say was the most intense match that you played? Because we didn't really see too much of your games, unfortunately. I think we only saw you and Are You Not Amused, and then that final game that you just played. What was it like with the Queefazoids? Because I did not look much into that. Was that the most intense match, or was the one of the other matches the most intense?
Um, I don't. Yeah, I think Queefazoid was fairly close.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did make it to our inhib, but I think Furbo got his volley bear, so I was pretty confident we're gonna win that.
I see. Yeah, I'm checking it out. That was quite a long game. Was that the longest of the tournament?
24 minutes, yeah, yeah.
Oh, the game
We
we were spectating was 25. That was the second
oh
longest. But still,
yeah, we did a
that's a long
24
game. They put
minute
up a good
game.
fight.
That's a pretty long game for us too. I'm pretty sure like most of our games are like 12 minutes.
Mm, fair enough. LaRue, do you have any questions? Is he even here?
Really? Yeah, I'm here. I guess my one question would be that final game that we saw you. Um, was the Rel misfortune comp or the Rel misfortune pick kind of intentional, or because I was hyping it up here on the stream. I said that's the one thing I truly want to see guaranteed is the Rel and the misfortune, because those two comps or those two champions really mesh well together. Was that something that you guys identified, or was that just kind of a happy accident that I hyped it so much and we got to see it here in this final game?
Um, maybe I think maybe someone had identified it. Someone just told me to play MF. I was like, I never play MF. I guess I'll pick MF. That was really it. We didn't really talk too much about it. I think we were like, yeah, you'll play MF and you'll play Corky, and then we didn't talk after that. So that was a pretty quiet game,
All
and
right, fair enough.
we're glad we won.
So then, if you just went with the flow, who was the one making the shots and making the draft decisions?
I think it's mostly maybe Coilin and Zalina
Okay.
just kind of telling us what to play, and then we just play.
All right. Does Airbus usually make the draft decisions and they stepped up, or is that the typical
Yeah.
shot calling?
Usually if Airbus is here, we'll tell him what we want to play, and then he'll just tell us to play something else. So
Okay.
it's nice change.
Yeah. All right. LaRue, any other questions?
I think I'm good.
I'm good as well. NetJuice, anything you want to shout out? Any social media, anything of your
Um,
friends, as long as it's safe for
you know,
work?
no, don't find me anywhere. But I appreciate for hosting the tournament though. It's fun.
Well, I appreciate you participating, even though it sounds like you kind of got dragged into it.
Yeah, I'm taking a long nap in this.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, I'll leave you be. Thank you so much for the interview and congratulations on winning. I'm not sure of the exact date, but next month will be some point. I'm thinking either the 15th or the 22nd of November will be the ARAM playoffs. So hopefully we see Czech PayPal compete in that.
Okay,
But
sounds good. Yeah,
until then, unless you play an arena, we shall see you soon.
appreciate it.
All right, have a good one. Peace. All right, LaRue, thank you for casting. Anything you want to say to the stream?
Yeah, absolutely. Just make sure to follow me on Blue Sky. I haven't made a post in nearly 10 months, but hey, that's the only social media I have nowadays. So make sure to follow me on Blue Sky excuse me. Sorry, it's my full government name. At Lo-Fi LaRue. Yeah. So make sure to follow me there. Otherwise, I will be back, I'm sure, in a couple months. And it's been fun as always. And I am glad we didn't see a single pike today. So that might be the first tournament I've ever done here where I didn't have to call a pike game. So
Okay.
that's nice.
Well done, everyone.
But
Shout out Ladsy for programming the bot, preventing Pike from being picked. No, I'm kidding. He didn't do that.
there was a pike at one point. I
Yeah,
want to
there
go ahead and
was.
add there was a pike and it was not picked. So
I wonder which
nicely
game
done.
it was. I
It
have all the
was
drafts. I remember seeing a. Oh, it was
Yeah,
ARAM Czech PayPal versus Queefazoids.
sure. Yeah, I definitely knew that it was in there at some point.
Yeah.
All right. But
All right.
yeah, anyway.
All right.
Don't play pike. It sucks.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, LaRue. You're the best. It was fun
All
sitting
right.
here listening to you cast.
All right.
All right. Have a good one. Oh, wait. Sorry. Were you saying? Oh, I thought he was saying something and I just left in the middle of it. But, oh well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the Howling Abyss. It's not even Howling Abyss anymore. What am I saying? The ARAM tournament. My apologies because I think we got Koshin's Crossing a lot because I will. Here, I'll test this again. Yeah. So whatever map you last played on, it selects that map again. It doesn't stay random. I did not know this. So my apologies. I will try to keep that in mind in the future. That's why we had so much Koshin's Crossing because it randomly selected Koshin's. And then it was like, oh, this guy just wants Koshin's for the rest of the time. That wasn't the case. So my apologies. It is what it is. Congratulations to Check PayPal. Like I said, the next tournament will be, or the next ARAM tournament will be Battle of Royalty, so not everyone will be included. I haven't finalized the decision on the date yet. I'm aiming for the 22nd, but that's not a guarantee. I think the 15th, I want to say, is Clash. I'm not sure. Um, and we will be having an arena tournament soon. I've been very busy, so I'm not going to say the final date, but arena tournament will either be the 18th or the 25th. I want to say the 18th. Let me double check. I think I said the 18th, but I don't want to, you know, announce that and change things. We'll figure it out later. But point is, Arena will be next. ARAM Battle Royalty Tournament playoffs will be in November. Information coming soon. Again, very special thank you to LaRue for casting. I really appreciate him. Special thank you to all the teams. We'll go through it one more time if I can find it in this overwhelming server. There it is. ARAM teams. Check PayPal, the champions. Gnar, You're Not Amused, Out of Our Hwei, Queefazoids, and Luong neighborhood. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later.